We are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, James Comey, former FBI Director, threatening Trump with the 8647 message, talking about, oh, I had no idea that those numbers were so threatening. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Also, Trump's over there in Saudi Arabia, UAE, in that particular part of the world, making deals happen, moving and shaking. Some don't like it. Oh, he got a plane from Qatar. How dare he? We'll talk about that a little bit later. Also, 10 inmates escape a prison, a jail in New Orleans. So they took a toilet off the hinges, and there just happened to be this big hole in the wall that they were able to escape. 10 people, and nobody noticed until the next morning. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Also, we still got the migrant issue. The South African migrants, they are losing their minds for 59 people, but the 20 million people, that wasn't really a big deal when they came in unvetted, unfettered, and everything else. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Also, Starbucks employees going on strike over a dress code. We'll talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for joining. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Yeah, we got a whole lot going on tonight. I saw that bombing at the fertility clinic. Hopefully there were no casualties, and if anybody did pass away, may they rest in peace, prayers out to their family. Yeah, people are crazy out here. It's a crazy, crazy world. You never know what's going to happen from day to day. Every day you wake up, you're like, okay, what's going to happen next? So yeah. It's really crazy out here. Please protect yourself. Keep that thing on you if at all possible. If you're living in California, man, hey, man, here's a hope and a dream for you in California. I don't know what you could do over there to protect yourself. I mean, I guess you guys do have guns, but it's getting a little bit like Australia over on the left coast, a teeny bit, where, hey, man, you might not be able to have guns. They might even try to ban knives like they're trying to do in UK. Okay, no guns, and you can't have a knife either. You got to have a rounded knife, no regular steak knives or anything like that. You got guys running up on you. Give up the goods, bruv. Before I get stabby, isn't it? Give up the goods before I get stabby, isn't it? Anybody trying to do with that? Over in the USA, check it out. Don't even pull that knife out because I got a gun, you got a gun. Let's be friends. Okay, let's be friends because I pull my gun, you pull your gun, ain't nobody gonna live. Let's be friends. Don't pull that knife on me because that's just gonna end bad for you. Okay, that knife ain't gonna do nothing but cut the steak, your dry steak in your house that's well done. Cut your shoe leather steak with that particular knife. Don't try to stab me with it because it's not gonna end very well for you. That's pretty much how I look at it. Okay, I collect knives for fun. I'm not gonna use them on you, and please don't get in my vicinity trying to use it on me. But yeah, shout out to the Europeans. Shout out to the Australians. But USA, man, is where it's at. We got freedom. Let freedom ring. Give me my guns, my property, whatever I am entitled to in this country. Let me get that. I'm going to work. I'm going to go hard. I'm going to get money. I'm going to save money. Make investments. And I'll be able to live free that way. Would you guys rather live in a place where there's no guns or a place where you have access to guns? Because in UK, I guess there is guns, but do you have access to them? Well, the authorities do. Same thing with Australia. Okay, you give up the guns, and then COVID comes along, and they lock you in your house and say you can't get out. What are you going to do? There's nothing you can do. You got to obey because they have the guns and you don't. Now, over where I live, in my neck of the woods, people didn't really abide by a lot of these rules that they put on us during C-19. They did some things, but not everything. And at a certain point, if your population says, we're not going to do that, we're not going to allow you to just lord over us in that way, what can you do when the population is armed? So yeah, shout out to the Constitution. Okay. My everyday carry pocket knife. That's a good question, Jim Adams. My everyday carry is more utilitarian. It's not really I have knives that are like more pretty that I collect. But let me show you my I got a Hawkbill Milwaukee. Yeah, because it just helps me out with my regular everyday doing things. Whatever it is. Okay, if I got some fertilizer in I got two of these, matter of fact, hold on. So I got one in my garage. So if I got a bag of grass seed, I got some fertilizer, some topsoil, whatever it is, anything I need to cut that's outside, I got that. And I also use that to pop open when I go to Costco and I get the cranberry juice by I might get 4 of them at a time. And they have this connector on top of the lids or underneath the lids is a connector. And it's easy to pop that connector off with the Hawkbill. You slide the hook in the connector piece and just pop it like that. It's very easy. You don't got to try to cut it with scissors or trifle with it. Hit it up on a little groove right by the lid. Pop it like that. It goes smooth and easy. And if I get a bunch of Amazon boxes or any kind of box, I just use that to break them down. You get a big box, small box. I break them down into pieces that's like maybe a foot, maybe about 12 by 12, 1 foot by 1 foot to make it easy to get to the recycling center. But that's my everyday carry right there. I got one in the garage just for dirty stuff like bags of dirt. And then one I got at my house for just boxes and anything else I might need to cut. Okay, that's pretty much what I do. Yeah, it's a very handy thing. When I pulled it out one time in the recycling center, the guy was like, hey, I like that knife. It's useful for roofing and stuff like that. So it's more utilitarian than anything else. Yeah, straight from Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever I found that. Yeah, that's what I use it for. Okay. So yeah, but shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining. Yeah, UK could never. I bet you that right there, that utilitarian work knife would be banned over in their neck of the woods. Okay. Big back knife. Is that a big back knife? Is that what that is? Shout out to the big back knife. Scissors. I have scissors. I have regular, like old school safety scissors, but I got like them big scissors. If I can find those right quick. I think they're also Milwaukee. They're not quite shears. They're scissors. Yeah, hold on if I can find them. Yeah, I have these. Well, I might not be able to find the ones I have. Hold on. I have these, but I also have ones that are a little bit bigger than that. See, I have these, but those are kind of the smaller ones. I have other scissors that are bigger than that, and they have a lock on it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I have those, but the knife is a little bit more easy to work with, in my humble opinion. I like doing DIY stuff, things of this nature. So I got all of that. And eventually, on the Uncle ABL channel, if you're not subscribed to it, please do. Eventually, I'll do some DIY stuff over there. I'll probably working in my garden, my front flower bed, around my house. And I'll probably show you guys building some wood stuff, basic little bookshelf. I'll show you guys some of that over there and flex all my tools. Okay. Like the knife better. That's right, C-Bass. Exactly. Okay. Harder sharpen the blade that's curved inward. That's a true thing, Topper. But I got a belt sander, so it's a little bit more difficult, but I can still get in the groove. Because the belt sander is small enough to fit in that little space. But yeah, it is much more difficult to sharpen that. You probably will have a harder time with a belt sander. I probably just use like a regular manual file, which of course would be more difficult. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining. We got a whole lot to get to tonight. There is a whole lot. It said, Bob K said, help me do my day, ABL. Hey, this back, I don't know, my back is only good for a little bit of work out of the week. If I don't use up my work capacity, I'm no more good. getting old now. But we got a whole lot going on, a whole lot of clips, a whole lot of things that I've not shown you guys all throughout the week. We're going to get to it. Okay, hold on. Kyrie says, just did my bathroom. Wish I recorded it. Looks amazing. Hey, shout out to you. You should post the finished product at least to show what you did and everything. Yeah, you most certainly should show that. All right, hold on. Christopher says, them scissors with the lot be sharp as all get out. Yeah, hey, that's what I like. I want the ultimate. So if I have a pressure washer, I want it to be so strong that if I like clip my foot with it, it's gonna like leave a hole or something like this. If I got some scissors, a knife, anything, I want it to be so sharp that if I touch it, I'm bleeding. That's how I want it to be, because I want to use my tools to the maximum. I don't like any kind of restrictor on it. Nah, give me the full use of the tool. That's what I'm paying the monies for. Paul says, ABL, do you feel like we have lost our voice, our freedom? I don't. Me personally, nah. I think that I've been able to. I think that over the years we've had more of a voice than ever before. A lot of what they do to us and the things they tell us would have just been normal, but not anymore. Barack Obama with the whole Hope and Change movement, if you look back on it, it was kind of cheesy. So we don't believe the things they tell us as much anymore. And we have the ability, because social media, the World Wide Webs, the internets, now we have the ability to broadcast our voice all over the planet. So I think we're in a good place. I think we are in a good place right here. Dolphin Gun says 440 PSI, 4.2 GPM, 13.5 horsepower. Okay, yeah. Hey, I need that. Yeah, give me that. Hey, I need that. Put it on the truck, send it right to me. That's what I need for sure. I got a pressure washer. That thing ain't doing one of the little Greenworks electric. I need something that runs on pure hatred, not even electric or gas hatred. I need the ultimate of strength, because that thing ain't no more when it's just basically a garden hose with a sprayer on the end. That's like, man, that ain't gonna do no more good for my driveway. Anyway, but we got a whole lot going on. Hold on. Melvin says, you guys are so slow. Battery acid in a spray bottle. Battery acid. What are we talking about? Okay, I'm getting too deep into the comments. Let's just keep on rocking and rolling here. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. You guys are my first sponsor, but shout out to all the other sponsors. Shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the description, or just go to patriotpost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Please go to the merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com, ablmerch.com. We got all the hats, the t-shirts, the stickers, the hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com, ablmerch.com. Link will always be in the description, or just go to the website through your browser, ablmerch.com. Check it on out right now today. Also, please go to the regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. I have articles for each video that I produce. And in each article, I have sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the Democratic, Republican, politically agnostic, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website. Again, AnthonyBLogan.com. Also, please go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my snail address, of course, my UPS box, my social media accounts, my Facebook. And by the way, Facebook is jumping. Shout out to the new Facebook people. You guys are great. I found a whole brand new audience over there. I guess people think that I'm older than what I am, and that's totally fine. I take it as a compliment. If somebody says, hey, I thought you were like 65 years old. Hey, that's great. If you think that, it'll be good when I'm 65 and I look the exact same as I do right now. So shout out to y'all. But yeah, go to the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. Yes, I am a million years old on TikTok. Yes, I am a senior talker. it is fine. I am on there. Check them on out on the website, anthonylogan.com/contact us. And as I always say, if you're ever wondering if you're conversing with me on the interwebs or not, you're probably not, especially if it seems scammy, talking about Bitcoin, foreign exchange. I don't know nothing about that. My email is very easy to remember. It's contact@anthonyblogan.com. If that's not you, if that's not my email talking to you, it's not me. Please don't get scammed. Nobody has any time for that. Now, speaking about things nobody has any time for, it's these bad kids. These bad kids out here, man, listen, I don't got no time. Sometimes I see some of your kids and I want to do something to them. I want to discipline them right there. I be like, look, all right, no, but I don't want to do nothing. I want to say something. I have to hold my tongue so much to not say something to these bad kids. You see them in the store acting a plumb fool. I was in Buc-ee's one time. Shout out to Buc-ee's, great store. I'm in Buc-ee's, getting my items, get ready to check out. And I'm seeing two kids right there with their mom. And they acting a whole fool. I'm talking about, mommy, give me this. Throwing stuff on the counter. Man, listen, I was wanting to say something to the boy. I would like, stop, boy. Like, if I you know what? And you know what the funny part is, if I was to say something, they probably would stop. The mom ain't saying nothing, just letting it happen. And these kind of kids are going to go out here and think that it's okay to do things to you as a regular normie. A lot of these criminals are young, 12, 13, 14 criminals. Don't nobody got no time for that. Now, this young guy right here, he gets it. He understands what's going on. Okay, let's watch.
The main reason why people say this generation is cooked because of these new parents, bro. These young kids nowadays have no guidance, and it's actually sad. And it's because these parents want to be friends with their kids and act like that's their homeboy or homegirl. Like, they don't get that belt to ass treatment no more because the system made that a crime.
Let him cook!
I feel like back in the day, kids had a certain amount of structure, you know? Because they knew if they did something bad, they was getting an ass whooping as soon as they came home. And it's a PSA to my mom. I was not talking about her. My mom is not a child beater.
There we go. Exactly. Hey, that was very well said, young man. Very well said. And the problem is the new parents. Because the parents, they just, you know, they might give them an iPad, say, hey, take that. Cocoa Melon, whatever, Baby Shark, do all day long. Where's the actual parenting? Where is the interaction? Kids do whatever they want to do. Yeah, back in my day, the things that are happening right now with these youngins would never. My parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody would discipline you. Okay? Like, things that are going on nowadays, what they call it, the soft parenting. I see some, I would like, you just let them say that? No way. So, yeah, young man got the right idea, 100%. 100%. I think he'll be just fine in the future. Now, this might be a tad bit of a contrast. Okay, this person may not have gotten the lessons that the young man obviously has right now in his young age. Okay, let's go ahead and check this out.
No, hold on. I need to fully crash out on this for a second because this is absolutely ridiculous. Tell me why a 34-count felon with his incompetent cabinet that contains an alcoholic, a dumb Neanderthal that just speaks out of her ass all the fucking time.
I'm sorry for the cussing, but you know how they are. You know, no home training. One thing about home training that I got, the lesson I got was no cursing. Oh no, cursing? I don't do that now at 40 years old. Cursing in front of my parents for what? Anyway.
And someone with a dead worm in his brain and you know the other clown circus that's running this fucking shit show can run our fucking country into the goddamn ground, mind you. But I can't, with my 3+ years experience, no criminal background, get a job working from home in customer service with me being disabled.
3 years experience as a work from home customer assistant. I mean, come on. Like, listen, can I be a little bit real? And I'm not trying to be insensitive to the young lady and her plight, but I got to be a little bit real. You might want to go to school for nursing or something like this because that is a skill that they can't really AI as of yet. But customer service, look, I was watching the clip where they had a whole lady talking to somebody doing customer service, and it was all AI as far as the lady. It was an AI lady. Black dude made it up. The black dude, what he did was start off cleaning houses and stuff like that in Detroit. Then he began to clean commercial properties, and he was able to keep building himself up to where he made an AI that was a woman that would help you doing customer service.
I got another fucking rejection email today from another job. Excuse me while I crash the fuck out about this, because why?
Why is because you're not necessarily a high demand person. You're not a high demand person. You might as well go back to school and become a nurse, because that's going to be in demand. You can't AI that. People got to get healthcare in person. They got to get healthcare in person. So if you want to get a job and you want to have some level of job security, you need to find things like in the service-based industry where you actually interact with people, real human beings. Because if you're at home and it's a task that's not that difficult, then they could just put an AI right there and X you out. As simple as that. Very simple. And again, to everybody out there that wants to express themselves on the internet, I promise you'd be able to reach more people if you just stop the potty mouth, because that really gets in the way. Now, this young lady right here says, you know what? I would open the bookstore, but the migrants are a bigger priority for me right now. All righty, let's watch.
If Kamala had been elected, I was going to try to open a bookstore this year. I was going to think about having a kid this year. I was going to grow my writing business this year. And instead, I spent yesterday afternoon at a meeting where we were talking about how to protect people who are being disappeared off the streets of our communities. And I'm spending this afternoon going downtown and just holding up a sign demanding that Abrigo Garcia be brought home. I will never not be angry at the people who did this to us.
Who did what to who? What you mean us? Us? We? Who is we? I don't speak no French. I don't parle no français. I don't pique the French, the Frenchie. I don't. So what you mean we? I mean, we're talking about a guy that's whipping his wife up, human smuggling, MS-13 gang member, here illegally. Why must you do so much of this performative type of outrage for him? For what? Why? Why hit your wagons to this dude? You could have found anybody. I mean, if you were able to find like somebody's abuela, you know, cleaning up hotel rooms or something like that, and they get deported, if you could find the mate from Family Guy, if you find her, okay, that's one thing. But a gang member, I have no sympathy. And here's another question. So you're going downtown to hold up a sign. Are you getting paid for that? Methinks you might be getting a little bit of spare change to hold that sign up. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. All right. Now, this person is upset because they got a new passport, and the passport says male, which is correct. Okay. Another gang member, perhaps. Tattoos on the knuckles. Anyway.
You guys, I just got my new passport, which you guys probably think I'm crying tears of happiness because my Uber driver stole my fucking Prada bag with my passport in it a month ago and refused to give it back. I told Uber I was gonna hang myself, and all they did was send me the suicide hotline.
Oh my goodness. Okay, all right. I'm gonna just try to get through it a little bit more. I'm gonna try to get through it.
I finally got it after having to go through hell to find all my documents. And after all my fucking psychiatrist appointments, my court documents, waiting years to have my gender changed. When I was working at McDonald's, fucking dumb, shitty spray tan ass Trump just changed all the shit to make it so trans people, if they lose their ID or they have an ID that's expired, it comes back their original gender, even if they have their social, their birth certificate, everything changed. And now I look cunt, but but it says fucking male.
Bro, all of that over a passport, all of that, talking about some, I'm going to delete myself, I'm taking medication. It's like, all right, you know what? You know what the most pressing issue is right now with this gentleman is getting that mind right. Okay, get your mind right. That's the problem. And see, you know what? I'm glad that Trump is doing this by giving them a little bit of reality. I don't think the way you help someone in mental crisis is to play into their delusion. I don't think you really do that. I don't think you really do that. Okay, the dude coming up to you talking about some, okay, I'm crying my eyes out because I identify as a rhinoceros and they think that I'm not really a rhinoceros. I'm really just a regular human being. I'm a regular boy, a regular XY. Okay. Now, if they start crying because they're not really a rhinoceros and I got to tell them that, is that my fault? Did I do that to them? Or am I just trying to bring them to reality? Okay. So yeah, if you think you're a rhinoceros, if you think that you are a puff of train smoke, if you think that you are a bright idea, get your mental health fixed and then move forward. Does that make sense to me? I think it makes sense. Now, this person is a reverend by the name of Jocelyn Emerson. So you already know. Jocelyn, yes, this is an XX. I mean, it says it right there in the book that the female shall not be pastors, ministers, reverends. It says it in the book, in the good book, the Holy Bible. But yet they violate that every single day. This person is also defending Kim Abrego Garcia. What a surprise. A female minister defending a criminal gang member because he is an illegal alien, or was, because he's not here anymore. But let's watch this.
This year, it is very important that we recognize the crucifixion of our trans siblings. That we recognize how the powers that be have begun to say to our trans siblings that in their passport, they have to have the gender assigned to them at birth, making it dangerous.
How is it dangerous, Miss Preacher Lady, which is oxymoron?
For them to travel. If the gender that they experience is different than the one they were born with. We have to be willing to sit in the shadow of the cross, to witness and stand in solidarity with those who are being crucified. Are we willing to be Senator Chris Van Hollen, get on a plane and go to the concentration camp in El Salvador?
Can we just talk about politics now at the pulpit? Is that what we do? I thought that you couldn't do that. Am I wrong about that? So there's a whole lot of things going on wrong here. First of all, you got the female minister with the LGBT stuff on, and you're talking politics right at the pulpit. Can you do that, or am I tripping?
Demand to see the one who is being crucified, Kilmer Abrego Garcia, and to stay until he can sit at the foot of the cross and bear witness to Abrego's challenges, to his pain, to his crucifixion, because he did nothing wrong.
Okay, so Kim Abrego, in church, we're going to talk about this guy. You have to find people that are worthy of being uplifted to uplift. A gang member, a verified gang member, human trafficking. We saw the videotape. I showed you guys the tape. He had 8 people in the van that had been retrofitted to put another row in there because this vehicle was a human trafficking vehicle. That's what it's known for. The police know it. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it, except for Miss Minister. Okay, except for Miss Minister, which, again, Miss Minister is an oxymoron. So I don't know, man. The left, I don't know what they're going to do. They keep trying to uplift these people that should not be uplifted. Yeah, Maryland, man, all of that, man, please. El Salvador, man, penitentiary, man. Now, here's a good clip from Chris. Here's a good clip from Kid Rock. I almost said Chris Rock. Shout out to Chris Rock. Hey, Will Smith, I will never forgive you what you did on the stage. You gonna slap Chris Rock? I'm okay. Let's not go down that road. But look, Kid Rock is talking about the very low birth rate in the country, and he has a theory on why the birth rate is so low. Check it out.
When you play your concerts, do you ever see anybody with blue hair, armpit hair, female armpit hair? Some of these people we're looking at, kid, I don't know.
Man, listen, I was just watching your clips, and we have this low birth rate in America, and it all made sense to me. It just hit me right now, because who's going to sleep with these ugly ass, broke, crazy, deranged, TDS liberal women? I mean, you look at these rallies, it's like a bunch of women that no guy wants to sleep with and a bunch of dudes that want to sleep with each other.
Have you seen what Comey,
Hey, that right there was perfectly stated. Perfectly stated. So I guess, the bright side is that they won't be reproducing themselves. That's a bright side. But see, the way they reproduce is by spreading their illness. They can't create another one of themselves naturally. Mom, dad get together, have kids. They can't do that. So they try to brainwash you. And that's why I step in to stop the brainwashing. But yeah, he's right on point though. He is right on point. And some of these smells, because that's something else though, because you can see some pictures of a rally, a protest, a rally. You see armpit hair, 500-pound life, all this, that, and the third. You can see that, but you don't smell it. Some of these stenches that y'all be stenching, my goodness, my goodness. There's this whole thing about not bathing. It's a whole trend about not bathing. I don't gotta bathe. I bathe once every other day. I bathe once a week and all this and that. But in that, I don't hear much about how they actually smell, because some of y'all, man, I get a nice little whiff of your morning scent, and it's not very nice. It is not very nice at all. All righty. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. So, Arlington, Virginia police, they do not cooperate with ICE. If you guys know about Arlington, that's basically DC. Okay, that's DC. So all these DC people, a lot of these permanent government people, a lot of your deep state people, they don't want to cooperate with ICE because they still believe in slave labor. While they go off to work in DC on Capitol Hill, spending your taxpayer money, they take your taxpayer money and employ slave labor with it. Okay, that's just the bottom line about what's happening here. So they don't want ICE to come in and raid their workforce. It's the same thing that was going on during slavery. It's the exact same thing. With an update, of course, there's no more need for a literal plantation and laws where you can escape and stuff like that. They just upgraded. Okay, look, you have a place where we can have people work, and rather than paying Americans what they probably would want to get paid, a wage that makes sense for them to be able to, they're going to find others who work for less. It's the same concept behind slavery. So, of course, a place like Arlington, a lot of money, government people, DC people, they want to keep slavery going on. And, fun fact, can I say something else? Arlington, that's Northern Virginia, right? The Confederate flag that you guys know, the Dixie, that was the original battle flag of Northern Virginia. The more things change, the more they stay the same. But let's watch this here.
ICE says this is going to make Arlington County a magnet for terrorists, gang members, and human traffickers.
You're wrong with that.
If that happens, if it happens, are you going to reverse this policy?
No.
ICE says this.
So look, ICE is telling them that if you become this super sanctuary, not deporting illegal aliens, you'll be a magnet for illegal aliens that are involved in other kind of activity, not just working at your Starbucks, not just working at your hotel, not just building houses and picking fruit and whatnot. No, they're going to be committing criminal activity as well. They're going to be committing criminal violations, armed robbery, kidnapping, human trafficking, murder, all of that. And it's already kind of an issue with that up there in Northern Virginia. like Herndon, they call that Honduras. It's been like that for a long time. Now, here's an example of somebody that works at a place that employs this kind of labor, this kind of pseudo slave labor. All right. ABL, they're here voluntarily. Let's focus on the point. The point is that these corporations want cheap labor, period. That's the bottom line. And if that means cutting you out of a job, if that means suppressing your wages to be able to do it, then so be it. But let's watch.
My work closed early tonight because ICE raided Broadway in Nashville. They went into the bars, specifically the kitchens of the bars, and they racially profiled a lot of the workers in there, detained them illegally, searched a lot of these places without warrants. Now, a lot of the workers who are dragged away from their jobs are being detained indefinitely until they can prove their citizenship. There's no telling how long they'll be detained. It could be 2 days, could be 2 months. But a lot of very hardworking people, mothers, fathers, people supporting their families, went to work tonight and don't know when they're going to be going home or dragged away in the middle of doing their jobs. Like, it's extremely important to talk about the fact that this is happening all over the United States. This is what your tax money is being spent on, and more importantly, it's being spent illegally. So yeah, this is real. It's happening. It's tearing families apart. It's ruining lives. It's illegal. And we're only 5 months in. My work.
All righty. So we got a future Karen reporting from Nashville talking about some illegal aliens or potential illegal aliens got detained by ICE. But look, check it out. This was the same argument that was used for slavery. It's like, well, look, if you free the slaves, who picked the cotton? If you free the slaves, who will do these jobs that we don't want to do? We don't want to pick the cotton. We don't want to be working in the kitchen. We don't want to be doing all this hard, crazy labor, back-breaking labor in the sun. So who's going to do it? How about your citizens of your country, people that live in your country? They'll do the work. Okay, that's the way it's supposed to be. It shouldn't just be this heavy reliance upon this foreign labor. You got to do things for yourself. And at a certain point, if you rely so heavily upon the foreign labor, your citizens will not have the drive to do anything. And when they do have the drive, it'll be difficult to find anything to do, especially on the beginner level, on the starter level. All righty. Now, here's Gavin. Remember, you guys may or may not have seen the story where they're talking about free healthcare for illegal aliens. Okay. I think they are doing that in California. For you guys who live there out on the left coast, y'all let me know. Is it true that y'all have free healthcare for illegal aliens? And I think I might have done the story where they expanded Medi-Cal to undocumented. Well, California was talking about, well, we have a surplus. We got plenty of money. We're doing great. We're kicking the red state sound parts, but they're actually at a deficit, and it's a pretty big deficit. Let's watch.
Off. We were significantly off.
On Wednesday, Governor Gavin Newsom admitted the state was wrong when he initially predicted back in January the state would have a $363 million surplus in the state budget. Newsom is now blaming the Trump administration's actions for the lack of incoming revenue, calling it a, quote, Trump slump.
We're going to see an impact about a $16 billion downturn, not all in the next fiscal year, but fiscal year +1.
Governor Newsom says the state is now facing an $11.9 billion deficit with a $321.9 billion budget and $15.7 billion in reserves. The governor's office wants to do several things, including using billions from the state's rainy day fund and even negotiating state workers' pay.
But wait a minute. I thought that there was a surplus. I thought you guys were doing very well in California. But now you're talking about you got this big, crazy, multi-billion-dollar deficit in California. What's going on? Sunshine State? What's really happening? Oh, that's not. They're not Sunshine State. What are they? The Golden State? The fentanyl state? I don't know. Let's keep on moving.
The intent is really to avoid increased costs in the upcoming fiscal year, and it's not to implement furloughs or PLPs or those type of things.
The governor is also proposing changes to Medi-Cal.
$5 billion on a freeze on our Medi-Cal expansion. We're not cutting or rolling back those that are enrolled.
This would apply to those receiving Medi-Cal regardless of immigration status. The governor is proposing a $100 premium for undocumented immigrants, and the freeze would apply to new adult applicants older than 19.
We're just capping it. particularly for those without documentation.
In response, Republican lawmakers say the state cannot continue to provide Medi-Cal services to people without documentation.
We just simply can't afford it. And he's acknowledging that by this budget's adjustment. And in future budgets, I think we're going to see more.
I mean, because I don't know how y'all feel, but I don't like giving my hard-earned tax money to people that are here illegally. I don't like that at all. And like I said, the migrant crisis is, but definitely in 2024, that was the biggest issue of the campaign. That was the biggest thing, because we spend as a nation on a federal level, overall, we spend $450 billion a year on the migrants, at least during Biden. $450 billion a year from us, the taxpayer. And then you want to say, okay, let's give them free health care? For real? I think not. All right, this is Pedro Pascal talking about the Trump admin deporting illegal aliens. Is that like a Freddie Mercury clone, or is it just me? Looks just like him. I don't know. Maybe I'm racist, but let's watch.
I want people to be safe and to be protected, and I want very much to live on the right side of history. And I'm an immigrant. My parents are refugees from Chile. I myself was a refugee. We fled a dictatorship, and I was privileged enough to grow up in the U.S. and after asylum in Denmark, and if it weren't for that, I don't know what would have happened to us. And so I stand by those protections always.
All right, so there we go. You all over the world, huh? In Denmark, how you go from Chile to Denmark to U.S.? Anyway, you're here, so you're welcome. Hey, bro, you're welcome. You're welcome. Just say thank you from the beginning. Be gratuitous. You're welcome. And you're not going to get deported. You're not doing anything wrong. Everything's all good. Look, you'll be just fine. Your grandmama and them, they're not going to get deported. But you know what? Some of them criminal aliens you got from that part of the world are going to be up out of here in a New York minute. A New York minute. So, yeah, shout out Pedro Pascal for his 2 cents on that. Let's keep rocking and rolling. Oh, Minnesota, they also want the free healthcare for illegal aliens. Now, look, I want to say something right now since I have them up. This is, your Minnesota elites. Okay, this is them right here. Check it out. You had Daily Wire talking about trying to pardon Derek Chauvin. I'm like, okay, let's just pause for a second. I'm not saying that Derek Chauvin shouldn't be out, but that's not even the point. Let's just think about this rationally, logically, and not with our emotion, not with our heart. Think with our brain. Derek Chauvin was convicted on state and federal charges. And all Trump could do, if he wanted to, which he doesn't, all he could do is pardon him on the federal level. So there's still the state charges, and it's the same amount of time, 22, 21 years. It's not any much difference. It's like 6 months difference, but still like 22 years. Anyway, if you're able to get him off of the Fed charges, you still got the state charges. And do you think these people are going to free him? Do you think Ilhan Omar, Tampon Tim Waltz, Jacob Fry, do you think they're going to let Derek Chauvin out? I think not. And if you pardon him on the federal level, it'll make it worse because he's not going to get out. And then he's going to go to the state penitentiary, which is worse than the federal one. So let's use our brains for a second, but let's watch them talk about giving free health care to illegal aliens.
Everyone for being here. I'm Senator Elise Mann from Senate District 50. I want to just put an exclamation point on what you just heard, and that was that we had negotiations with a party who does not care about the well-being of people, with a party who was willing to throw the entire state of Minnesota in disarray, to shut down the government. And in return for not doing that, they wanted to take away health care from 20,000 people. That was their priority. Their goal was to take away health care from people.
They're illegal aliens who shouldn't be here. I don't want my taxpayer money going to fund illegal aliens in any kind of way.
and under the guise of fiscal responsibility. There is no fiscal responsibility when you do this. When we take away people's health care, they end up being the emergency department. It costs more money for everyone in the community.
Well, if it costs more money, just send them back home and it'll be fine. You guys want to subsidize them through taxpayer dollars, and I say no.
Hospitals more money. It puts our healthcare system in disarray. It makes our healthcare system weaker. Of course, families fall into poverty. So there is no fiscal, there is no economic argument to be made when we take away people's health care. So what they did was purely cruel. It was cruelty dressed as fiscal responsibility. There is no other outcome for when you take away people's health care. And this, I will say this again, was their number one priority. So what we have is a party who was willing to take away insulin from diabetics, inhalers from people with asthma, cancer treatment from people who just want a few more years with their children, all for political points, all for political gain, to say that we protected essentially homegrown Minnesotans. But all these other people who look different, who speak a different language, who have different customs, we do not care about them. We will not pay for them. We will not welcome them. And they can suffer, they can die, and we don't care.
I don't, because check it out though. You know what? Here's the thing about it. They can just return home. I am home. They can return home. I am home. So let's look at it this way. I have a house, right? I'm paying the bills to take care of everything in the house. I take care of myself. Then you, Miss Lady, whoever you are, move someone else in my house without my consent. And then tell me you got to take care of that person. I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. Oh, because they don't look like you and they're not really from your home and they speak a different language. You don't want to take care of them. How dare you? That's not my responsibility, Miss Liberal Lady. I promise it's not. So yeah, shout out to Minnesota. If you guys live out there, man, God bless you. Because if this is your leadership, you got a problem. You got a big problem, and that's your leadership right there. All right, so yeah, shout out to the Minnesota peoples, your Tampon Tim, all these individuals. Now, this kind of person is someone who would vote for that team out there in Minnesota. And shout out to Savannah Hernandez, one of the best reporters in the world right now, doing very good out there with the frontline street interviews. Let's hear from this person about abortion and a few more things. And you can already tell where it's going to go based upon the hairstyle. The Party City, Kool-Aid pack. Anyway, let's watch.
People are inside that facility.
And they're MS-13 members, they're child traffickers.
Oh, hold on. This is not okay. This is about they're at an ICE facility. That's right. I thought it was about abortion. So they're at an ICE facility. All right, let's hear it.
People are inside that facility.
And they're MS-13 members, they're child traffickers, they're drug traffickers, they're bringing drugs into this country.
They are still human beings.
So you don't care if they're the worst criminal in the world and they have raped and murdered children. They're okay and they're still human beings and they should be here?
I believe that they are human beings and that they deserve dignity just as everybody else.
You think child rapists deserve dignity?
Absolutely, I do. People are in.
Wow. I mean, look. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, I'm just kind of like trying to just understand because look, we could ridicule, we could poke fun, but at a certain point, I want to get the science behind it. Are you just trying to be right for the sake of being right? Are you not interested in learning anything? Are you not interested in being? It's one thing to be right to yourself. It's something else to be right in general. Like I could say that 2 + 2 is 5, and in my humble opinion, I'm right. And I'm gonna tell you that I'm right until the cows come home, but I'm not right. It's more important to be factually correct than it is to be quote unquote right. So yeah, there we go. You're at an ICE facility with all kind of criminals, all kind of criminal aliens roaming around, and that's the response. Jim Jones says, Cabbage Patch Kid on meth. That's crazy. That is hilarious. But again, these individuals, they vote. They vote. So thank God for our election system, because I would not want them to dominate me or any of you guys at all. Now, to switch gears a little bit, I have a very good story. This is about President Trump and his kindness, and how he was never a racist. Trump was never a racist until 2015 when he came down the escalator with Melania. Before that, he was always nice to everybody. It didn't matter what color you were, black, white, Puerto Rican, and Candy stripe. Nobody ever said anything negative about President Trump, especially not us in the black community. We saw him as a black guy. He was one of us. He's one of us. We looked at Trump as one of our own. Now, here's the story. You got to watch this. This is a great story. Check it out.
Trump saved my life, literally. My dad and my mom passed at the same time. I was in the bathroom.
Let me start from the top because the sound was kind of crazy. Hold on.
Trump saved my life, literally. My dad and my mom passed at the same time. I was in a bad place. I was going towards the Brooklyn Bridge. Don't ask me why, but I was. Donald Trump was standing on 97th Street in Broadway. He was at a friend's birthday party. And when he saw me coming past, I was hysterical in tears. And he gently grabbed my arm. He was like, whoa, wait a minute, are you okay? And he said, well, I don't know what you're gonna do right now, but whatever it is, forget about it. Take it out of your head. Your mom and dad wouldn't want that. And he talked to me till I forgot all about what I was gonna do. So he said, let me pray for you. So when I went to get my keys out of my pocket, and I opened my hand, he had placed a folded up, real small, folded up $100 bill in my hand. I framed it, literally, and this is a true story. He saved my life. Yeah, he did. So anybody that has anything bad to say about Trump, did it, because he's a good man.
That's something else.
Right on. So shout out to our President Trump. You hear quite a few of those stories. Jennifer Hudson, same situation when she lost a lot of her family. Who was there? Trump. Hey, stay in the Trump Tower, Chicago, no problem. Don't worry about it. I got you. He did that over and over again, talking about Judge Joe Brown. Judge Joe Brown said that back in the 80s, if you were a black person trying to get a loan for your business, you would go to a bank, you would go to peers, you couldn't get any money, you would go to Trump. Trump will look out for you. And you come back to him with the money, because he would say, okay, after you get the loan, start your business, pay me back all at once. Come back with a check and you're good. And they would go back with the check and Trump would say, is everything going well? You started your business. It's going good. Guy says, yep. Trump takes a check, tear it up, shake the hand, enjoy your business. He was that kind of guy and is that kind of guy. But the media will tell you that he's some type of racist monster. Where's the racism at? If he's a racist monster, please point to it. And you know what? Hey, I will give you guys who say Trump's a racist a bone. I throw you a bone. I will throw you a bone. Trump said the N-word on TV. Not that one. Not that one, to be clear, because some of y'all just clipped that part. ABL said Trump said the N-word. Not that one. But somebody might get triggered at the N-word, not knowing what the real N-word is, all right? Let's go ahead and watch this. This is with him and Brett Baer.
Next one's going to be, you know what?
Hold on. Sound is crazy. Let me start from the top.
Next one's going to be, you know what? The N-word. You know what the N-word is, right?
Nuclear.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for the clarification.
I figured you'd want to clean that up. No, it's the N-word. That's a very nasty word, right? In a lot of ways. The N-word used in a nuclear sense, that's the worst thing that can happen. Next one's going to be, you know what?
Yeah. The N-word definitely is a very nasty word, especially that one. The nuclear word, yeah, you don't want to do that. And a little bit of context, if you see the lower third, it says ceasefire between nuclear-armed India and Pakistan. Yeah, because they got a little bit of action happening right there in the northern part of India. China's right there as well. It's kind of a hotbed area. But yeah, shout out to nuclear, that N-word, not the other one. Somebody said Nantucket. Yeah, shout out Nantucket. Okay, now, do I want to show this? Hold on. Before I show that, I want to show that right away because that was a little bit too close. Okay, now, what I want to show is Pete Buttigieg, whatever his name is, okay? Do they like him? When I say they, I mean the Democrats. Do they actually like this guy? If not, I can't tell. So hold on. It says, breaking, a crowd gave Pete Buttigieg a massive standing ovation for this perfect moment. All right. Now, this comes from a Democrat page. So they're really supporting him. Again, Pete Buttigieg out in front of a crowd, and the crowd goes wild. Let's watch.
It was a complete pleasure to be able to hear somebody speak in complete sentences.
Democrats, are y'all for real? Are y'all really, really serious? Y'all want Pete Buttigieg to be the guy? Y'all want him to run? You want him to seek higher office? Look at this guy, man. You know, trying to go a little bit of mustache, a little bit of goatee action. Okay, I see you, Pete. I see you, Mayor Pete. Okay, but look, man, your bicycle and the husband, they don't really do too much for your masculine image, okay? You might as well just lean into the LGBT for real. Cut that off and just go back to what you know. But I'm telling you, they would vote for this guy. Now, it wouldn't be very many of them that vote for him, but they would. Remember, he won the Iowa caucus back in 2021. Okay, so yeah, that did happen. That really did happen. He didn't win much beyond that, but he did win that. And when the guy says, you know, speaking in complete sentences, who's he referring to? Is he saying that Trump cannot do that, or is it about Joe Biden? Because clearly Joe Biden, he didn't know where he was at or what he was saying. So that most certainly could apply to him, but different story. I digress. Somebody said Brokeback Mayor. Yeah. Pete Buttigieg, that might be their guy. They might try to put up Pete Buttigieg with AOC. That'd be hilarious. That'd be the worst duo ever. Now, what I don't want is for them to bring up this kind of woman right here. Leslie Jones. Now, Leslie, talking politics is not your thing. If you want to just stick to comedy, maybe like doing your own thing, they put her in this role of a famous person that I don't think she's really suited for. She was decent as like a stand-up comic, doing like little hole-in-the-wall spots. That was her lane. Being on a Daily Show and reading scripts, I think not. But let's just watch some of this.
This is official shit. How is this guy firing people? If this guy gave me a pink slip, I'd give his ass a black eye. Why don't you fire one of... This is official.
Okay, so there we go. Look, we just got done dealing with the whole statue kerfuffle in New York City. Okay, you got this black lady, no brassiere on, t-shirt, pair of pants, or whatever. This right here is like the statue. You understand what I'm saying? She should not be on TV like this. Angry black woman, big, loud for no reason. That's not a very good image for us. So yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Leslie Jones in that capacity. It's reading scripts for what? Like, what are we doing? Why, Leslie? Why? Now look, let's go to where we at? California, of course, LA. Now I don't know what's going on. Well, I know why LA is like this. LA is like this with all the homeless encampments because it's sunny all the time. You could pretty much do whatever you want. You could smoke crack out in the open in Los Angeles. It's not really a big deal, right? So you have all these homeless encampments everywhere, and they are in front of businesses, schools, churches, wherever. So there's a guy who owns a store and says, you know what? Okay, I have an idea to keep the homeless away from my building. I'm gonna install a speaker and pump out some music. Let's listen to the music, shall we?
You cannot make this shit up. The owner came over, installed a speaker to try and get rid of the homeless encampment here with Baby Shark on repeat. You gotta be kidding me, bro. You cannot make this up. Wow. You cannot make...
I mean, look. Desperate times call for desperate measures. desperate times call for desperate measures. Look, if the police ain't gonna do nothing, what are you to do? Okay, let's put up this speaker. I'm gonna blast Baby Shark. I'm gonna blast Beethoven. I'm gonna blast all of that. I'll be out there like Bill Clinton with a saxophone on Arsenio. I'll play that all night. I'll do whatever I can to keep y'all from in front of my particular business. Look, I understand it's rough out here. California sucks, whatever. Okay, cool. But look, check it out. Just because you want to smoke crack all day does not mean that you could do that in front of my property and be doo-dooing right there on the ground. I don't got no time for that. And then when you want to smoke meth or cook it and blow up your tent and set it on fire, you're going to set my stuff on fire. And of course, if I have a storefront where I'm relying upon foot traffic, I think the foot traffic is discouraged by the tents right there on the sidewalk, especially the tent is right in front of the business. If I see your business on Google, I look it up, put it in my GPS, I drive down there, and once I get in front, I'm seeing all this kind of extracurricular activity. I'm gonna keep on driving. I'm not gonna stop at your actual business. I'm not gonna stop there. Okay, that's not what I'm gonna do. Okay, Carrie Cree says, I've avoided hearing that song until now. Hey, you know what? That's probably how the homeless feel. So maybe that'll get them up out of the way. Maybe that would do it. Imagine hearing that on repeat for 24 hours a day. Now, shout out to you guys out there in St. Louis. This damage is crazy. St. Louis in Kentucky, well, Missouri, but specifically St. Louis got hit pretty hard, and parts of Kentucky got hit by some tornadoes. I know how it is. I done got hit before by a tornado. Let's just watch some of this.
All right, here's Redbud, y'all. We got hit pretty bad. All the trees, cars, people's roofs. All this damage. All right, here's.
Now, shout out to St. Louis. Now, as you can see, there's like actual real brick. A lot of those homes out there are brick, not just brick facade, but brick for real. You know, and I could tell because if it was brick facade, it'd be like, it wouldn't look like that. So real brick homes out there in St. Louis hit really hard by the tornado. And y'all know I got hit back in 2020, I think, 2019, 2020. That's when tornado hit. Yeah, it was crazy. Our whole neighborhood got hit. It was this really big old tree. Like the tree was so old, you could tell that it was there before they cut that land up to put houses in. You could tell it was just like a forest they cut into. And that tree had been there for probably up 1,000 years. That tree was humongous, probably as big as the whole house was. I'm not even exaggerating. The neighbors had a big tree in front of their yard, and rather than falling backward, it fell forward. Now, when it fell forward, it had hit some power lines down with it. And the power lines, it made it to where my neighbors that were next to them on the left, we were on the right. The neighbors, I'm saying they were on the left. The neighbors could not get out of their garage because the power lines had stopped at their garage level, so they couldn't back out of the garage. But yeah, it was a mess, man. It was water everywhere, debris everywhere, trees everywhere. It was crazy. Luckily, all that happened to our house was it was some branches that had fell on the gutter. It just bent the gutter ever so slightly, but it didn't damage the roof. So shout out to God for being on our side that day, for sure. LC says, hey, I'm near St. Louis and I've suffered worse. We have real brick houses and basements. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, LC. Hopefully you guys are physically okay. That's the most important thing, because you can get another place to live. You can get more possessions, but you only got one life to live. So I'm glad you're still here with us. That's the most important thing. So God bless that. Okay. Captain Freedom says, Anthony seems to know a lot about burning down tents while smoking crack. Yeah, you know, because that was my profession back in the day. I used to be a professional tent crack smoker in Los Angeles. Yeah, that's how I got started. My first YouTubes were smoking crack in the tent and setting it on fire. Yep, that's what I did for a living. So shout out to you, bro. Shout out to Captain Captain Freedom. Great observation. Now we got some more damage here. This is Kentucky. This is Kentucky. No sound for the video, but you can see it's probably drone footage. I mean, the houses now out here, clearly you got a bunch of 2x4, paper, concrete slab. And when a tornado comes through, it's like it just tore paper up. That's kind of what it looks like confetti. You see wood everywhere, paper, rooftops, cars, all of that everywhere. I've seen that before in Virginia, way back in the day. There was a tornado out in Suffolk. And if you know about Suffolk, it's kind of like rural a little bit. And it looked just like this. Splinters, debris everywhere. Now, when the tornado hit my neighborhood here in Tennessee some years ago, it wasn't quite like this, but there were some areas where it looked similar. It really did. Trees, it's still some trees that look like that, where it's just tore up, a mess. So yeah, if you guys were caught up in that activity, hopefully you're still here with us and you're physically okay. All right, now there was an explosion out in Palm Springs. Someone mentioned it earlier. One person died, RIP to the person. But this is the American Reproductive Center in Palm Springs, and I think this is a fertility clinic. So this is a IVF place. So you can see what's happening here. Again, this is Palm Springs, California.
Explosion was so crazy, it blew out the glass of this liquor store. Look at this liquor store. Oh my god, all from this explosion. Poor guy. Damn, this liquor store got from the explosion. Look at this, dude. Damn, crazy explosion. Glass and everything everywhere.
So yeah, that's what's happening out there at Palm Springs. It looks like real dry out there. Like, it looks very, very dry. Not really my kind of climate. I like the humidity. If it's not hot and humid at a certain point, I'm good. Yeah, I can't deal with the dry heat. I feel like I can't breathe. But it's weird. Some people say that they can't really breathe in the pollen and stuff out here. I love it. I love the outdoor, like the springtime, pollen, heat, humidity. I love it. What I don't like is when it's hot and there's no moisture in the air. I feel like I'm a rotisserie chicken from Costco, just sitting right there in the thing. Just matter of fact, like a gas station hot dog. That's kind of how I feel on the left coast when it's hot. I don't like that. I want the moisturized experience. I can't do with the. You know what I mean? That ain't really my thing. Now, shout out to Ben and Jerry, or Ben Cohen from Ben and Jerry's. Now, he was protesting when RFK was speaking. Okay, RFK's up there in the Senate hearing, talking about something. Didn't really matter what it was. You had a protester act up and get tossed out, and then Ben did the exact same thing right after the guy that got tossed out, and he got tossed out too. Now, Ben says it's about Palestine, Gaza. Oh, the U.S., you guys, you keep funding these wars overseas. You're cutting Medicaid here, and you're using it to drop bombs on innocent Palestinians, all of that, and the third. But I think it's to protect the brand. Now, somebody said that they sold Ben and Jerry's to Unilever. It doesn't really matter. He's still out here championing the cause of Ben and Jerry's. Is still out here trying to do things because of who he is. And part of it is protecting the brand of Ben and Jerry's, because when RFK is able to get his way and get some of these food dyes and preservatives and whatnot removed from food, that's going to impact the bottom line of Ben and Jerry's. Let's watch.
The audience are reminded disruptions will not be permitted while the committee conducts its business. Capitol Police are asked to remove the individuals from the hearing room.
Stand up. Come on, Ben. Let's get it together, man. Yeah. RFK is like, all right, man, are we done? Hey, RFK is like, are we finished or are we done? Can we get back to regular proceedings? That's what he's saying right here. And shout out to the orange tan. Hey, I love the orange tan, the orange glow. Yeah. At this point, I think the orange tan represents intelligence because the guys I know they got the orange tan, they bought that business.
Was a made for C-SPAN moment. The secretary will resume. That's the budget. The audience are reminded.
All righty, so there we go. So Ben from Ben and Jerry's getting kicked out because, oh, you guys are spending so much money for Gaza, all this, that. Is it that, or you just don't want to have RFK be able to say what he has to say because he's going to get in the way of the bottom line? Food colorings, preservatives, all kind of crazy chemicals that cause us to get sick. You know, they give us food and they give us chemicals in the food to make us sick. Then they say, hey, here's a vaccine, take that, it'll help you. And then it makes it even worse. We're just being sold things to put in our bodies that will make the companies more money. Big Pharma makes more money. Big Food makes more money. Ben from the ice cream shop makes more money. They all win, we all lose. But check it out. Speaking about drugs, this is a great segue. I didn't do it on purpose. Speaking about drugs, how many of the school shooters that we know do you think were on some kind of drug before they did what they did? How many of them? What's a percentage? Give me a ballpark percentage. How many of the school shooters do you think were on drugs before they did it and or during the action? Let's watch.
52 years of documented school shootings in America conducted by teenagers. Do you know 100% of them were on either an antidepressant or on a barbiturate drug for anxiety? And every one of these antidepressants, including Prozac, Zoloft, Xanax, you name them, all these anti-anxiety drugs and antidepressants, do you know every single one of them are published to increase the risk of suicide behavior and actions, and I quote, lead to violent and homicidal actions. 100% of all school shooters, for the documented 52 years of history, we've been tracking them and studying them, 100% of all the shooters were on drugs that are published and prescribed by your medical doctor, brought to you by CVS and Walgreens and others. 52 years of...
All right, so there you go. I mean, 100%. That tells you right there we got a problem. That tells you right there we got a problem. And these drugs, these are big pharma drugs. It's not just stuff from the street. I mean, they probably can get it from the street, but these are things that come from big pharma. Fentanyl, big pharma. A lot of your anti-anxiety, Zoloft, all that kind of stuff. Barbiturates, that's just straight up big pharma all day long. And that is where the real money is. If you want to get a job where you can make a ton of money, I'm talking about getting to the point where you're getting the like athlete money. Yeah, big pharma, because they sell drugs. They're very harmful to us. They kill us. But hey, man, it's all good. Somebody is, 1,000 pounds. They take this drug. Maybe it helps them feel a little bit better. But maybe, you know what? If they were not 1,000 pounds, they would feel better without taking the drug. I'm just saying. Yeah. So 100%. I mean, that's pretty. That's a pretty telling number. So that tells you right there that maybe there was something in them that was upset, anxious, scared, whatever, and then they're on that drug. It alters their brain. So now, okay, let me go do this. That's how it works. Same thing. That's right, Debbie, for the Transformers as well. Same thing for them. We saw the dude earlier crying and crashing out because of a passport. I'm talking about screaming, crying. Oh, I want to delete myself. I'm going to therapy. Well, look. Maybe if you got off that drug, and got a little bit of common sense in your life, maybe you wouldn't be a boy thinking he's a girl and having a meltdown and crisis over your mental state. I'm just saying. All right. But look, let's watch this here. This was a great moment by Sebastian Gorka talking about how biased mainstream media is, how they don't really want to say the truth. And he's speaking to someone from Politico. Her name is Dasha Burns. She's the White House Bureau Chief and Playbook Chief Correspondent for Politico. Check it out.
A member of Al-Qaeda. If you're a member of Al-Qaeda, You're a terrorist.
How do you know if that they're members of these gangs? What I'm saying
You mean
is,
the tattoos MS-13 on our knuckles doesn't, that doesn't help it?
those...
Do you have tattoos of Al-Qaeda?
The tattoo did not say
wrist?
MS-13. I don't want to get into that.
Oh, of course it does. It's just accidents that the four symbols represent the letters MS. See, this is why Politico is a joke. This is why you are gutter press and fake news. That those four symbols that just happen to comport with the letters MS and the numbers 13 don't, in this case, represent MS-13. You're sitting here live defending a member of MS-13. That's why I regret coming here, because this isn't journalism. This is protecting those who hate America. Shame on you. We are saving lives. Sir. Saving lives. How about Maryland fathers compared to Maryland mothers? Like Rachel Marin, mother of 5, raped and murdered and thrown in a ditch. How about Jocelyn Nungare, age 12, raped a mile from her home and thrown in a ditch?
I mean, look, shout out to Sebastian Gorka. Hold on. He dropping straight up knowledge right here. Straight up knowledge. And the media are so terrible for refusing to acknowledge the knuckles. Talking about it doesn't really say MS-13. Nah, let's not even play games like that. We know exactly who this guy is. We saw him on camera, human trafficking. You had 8 adults in the car, ain't nobody peeking, no English, looking straight forward, deer in the headlights. You already know what it is. I know what it is. You know what it is. They know what it is. The cops on the scene knew what it was. The federales knew what it was. Talking about don't detain them. Yeah, let them go on through with these illegal aliens because we need them in D.C. to work in the restaurants, to work and do things that we don't want to do because we want to have slave labor. Okay, we want to go back to the antebellum times and bring slaves back, the permanent underclass. No, those jobs are for them, not for us. It's ridiculous. I think the jobs in America are for all Americans, and relying upon the outside labor is just bringing back the old time slavery. That's all that is. Now check it out. We have some fascism experts here, okay, and they want to give us their 2 cents. Hold on. Let me just put them in the smaller frame so you're able to see their beautiful faces. There we go. All righty. That is good right there. Okay, so you can see what it says right here from In Wokeness. Yale, quote unquote, fascism experts are self-deporting. It sounds good to me. Let's go ahead and check it out.
I'm a historian of totalitarianism.
I look at fascist rhetoric.
I've been thinking about the sources of the worst kinds of history for a quarter of a century.
Experts say the constitutional crisis is here now.
The Trump administration deporting hundreds of men without a trial.
A massive purge at the FBI to make people afraid of speaking out against him.
You see the end right there? They're moving abroad. Okay, well, goodbye. Look, goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen. Sayonara. Adios. Goodbye. Okay, you want to study fascism for what? So you can, now, and then here's my question. You guys, where you guys going? Huh? You want to go to a English-speaking place? Okay, cool. Well, there's a few places in America, Jamaica. It's a beautiful place. Montego Bay, all of that is going to be nice. Bahamas, Barbados, somewhere like that. That's probably within the British Crown still a little bit, so it won't be no problem for you guys. Or are you going to go to Canada, Denmark, like the other guy did from Chile? You want to go to Australia, New Zealand? Where y'all going to go? You want to go to Nigeria? Hey, it's nice and tropical. You go to the beach, it'd be nice, right? You want to go there? They speak English. Mostly. Nah, I know where you're going. But yet, we're so fascist and racist over here. Okay, cool. No problem. Now, speaking about racism, we got Ayanna Presley talking about Ayanna Presley. We have her talking about reparations. Now, reparations it's a talking point that is just used to get attention, but it's not a thing that's ever serious. As long as I've been living, as long as Dad been living, RIP, Granddad, all of them, they've been hearing about the same thing since they were little kids. Same with me. Since I've been a little boy, I've been hearing this. I'm talking about since I've been like 5 years old. I've been hearing the same old story, and nothing ever goes anywhere. There's not, look, they're talking about some, okay, we're going to do a study for it. We're going to study it. We're going to put together a task force. I'm like, okay, cool. What are we studying though? Y'all been studying the same thing since forever, since the 1800s, since the end of slavery. You've been studying reparations. So what are we going to learn now that we didn't learn back then? Nothing. Let's just watch and hear her talk about it.
And discrimination against black people. We are in a moment of anti-blackness on steroids, and we refuse to be silent. We will not back down in our pursuit of racial justice. The antidote to anti-blackness is to be pro-black, and we will do it unapologetically. The United States government owes us a debt, and we need reparations now. And discrimination.
Okay, that was sped up a little bit. To you guys who watch stuff sped up all the time, I don't know how you do it because it kind of gets on my nerves. But it ain't never going to happen. All right, let's watch this.
Has been exactly what does your resolution really aim for? Is it that black Americans of a certain economic level, are they being targeted? Is it everyone? So basically, it doesn't matter as to what economic level. It's pretty much all black Americans. What about those?
Hold on. Can I? It's going too fast. Hold on.
Those individuals of any race.
All right, I'm going to just play it normally because I got to stop doing that.
That have a lineage going back to slave America. It doesn't matter.
Let me start from the beginning because I'm messing around with it too much. It's like it's a step too fast, and I can hear it in my brain, and it's tearing me up.
Has been exactly what does your resolution really aim for? Is it that black Americans of a certain economic level, are they being targeted? Is it everyone? So basically, it doesn't matter as to what economic level. It's pretty much all black Americans. What about those individuals of any race that have a lineage going back to slave America? It doesn't matter.
So to be very clear, whether or not a black descendant of American chattel slavery were able to break into the middle class, they are still, and they were able to do that despite the harms, despite the past injustices done to them. So they are not excluded from the reparation and the remedies therein. When we think about who traces their lineage back, that is again a debate that is used to try to silence the rest of this movement. It's a distraction tactic because what we want to do is instead of focusing on again what the system did, who did it, and what the impact of it was, we'd rather get bogged down in, well, should they make $25 an hour or should they be paid below a living wage, right? Should they have been educated, or if they're educated, is that disqualified? No, they're black.
Okay, so look, she says, if you're a black person, it doesn't matter if you were here during slavery. It doesn't matter your lineage, and it doesn't matter how much money you make, you still get your money. Although, again, it ain't going to happen because it's been a talking point for 100 years and nothing has even changed. There's been no progression. It's like, all right, check it out. If you say we want to build a road from point A to point B, and every year we say we're going to study the road, we're going to figure out how much money it's going to cost, we're going to do something to actually build the road, but in 100 years' time, the road never gets built. Do you think that if you take another 100 years, it'll get built or not? You must not need it, really. It's not going to happen. But beyond that, so there's no need to prove lineage. So you could be Ilhan Omar and get money. Or how about this? You could be a white person, because there'd be a lot of that going on too. So if a white person comes up and says, okay, I am black, and I want to get reparations, how are you going to tell them no? Because if there's no test, there's no lineage test, then how are you going to know that? How are you going to know that? Because you can see me, I'm clearly a black person, but my 2 times great-grandfather was white, straight up white. Like, my grandma showed me a picture of him. I'm like, yo, who that white man right there? He's Irish. Grandma, this white man, who is this? So how does it really work? Can I just go up to somebody? Like, let's say there's a race-based initiative, right? It's a race-based thing, and I am entitled to money because I'm white. I'm white though because X, Y, and Z was white. I don't count. Oh, okay. It's just so silly. It's never going to happen. It's just a waste of time to talk about it, to be totally honest with you. Now, look, speaking about waste of time, Starbucks. I know a lot of y'all love Starbucks. Hey, Starbucks and certain parts of this country, man, listen, in the morning time, get out of their way. I done seen y'all drive reckless going to Starbucks, almost flipping your car over, all of that. A lot of bad driving by Starbucks. If you want to see an example of bad driving, live near Starbucks. You're going to see it. Them little SUVs, them little Hyundai Ioniqs or whatever y'all got, all over the curb. Anyway, they're striking because there's a dress code. Got to wear black shirts and like regular jeans, black pants, khakis. That's it. That's all you got to wear. And they give you the apron. Put your apron on, your black shirt, your regular pants, and that's it. That's all you got to wear for a uniform. But they want to be able to wear shirts with patterns and colors and all kind of stuff. So now you have over 2,000 Starbucks employees going on strike. Let's watch.
Yeah, the company. All right, we walked out. We're on strike, guys. Oh my God. All right.
Video.
All right.
Now look, shout out to the Starbucks employees, but check it out though. Check it out. How y'all gonna strike? Who cares, actually? You guys do not have a skilled job. Anybody can do that. It doesn't take much. I'm not trying to say that there's no value behind being a Starbucks employee, because you got a job, you do a service, that's valuable. But it's not difficult. Like I say in my video, a lot of y'all pushing buttons. All right, you get an order in the drive-thru. Yeah, I want a mocha chapa, kappa, link, whatever y'all call it. I don't drink none of that stuff. I don't. That's like the worst thing you could drink in the world. You got caffeine and sugar. You're basically eating a cake with caffeine in it. You're basically drinking a cake with caffeine. I mean, anyway, whatever kind of drink you want to have, they just make that. They probably just push little buttons, like at the little fountain drink machine. You want Sprite and Coke? Shh. All right, there you go. Couple of little ice cubes. Bloop, bloop. Boom, take that. That's how I see Starbucks workers. It is what it is. It's a good job when you're young to get stuff on your feet. If you're an older person, you're a manager, great. But a strike? Come on. Like, let's really be serious. Okay? But it's funny to see them actually out there doing it. And you know what? The reason why they're striking is not just because of the uniform requirement. It's not just that. They're striking because this is the environment that Starbucks has cultivated over many years. They've been the woke coffee place for years. The owner, what's it, Howard Schultz, he's still the owner, liberal guy, going on TV saying liberal things. So, of course, you're going to have a lot of your left-leaning people, your youngsters, flock to Starbucks. And they do things like this. This is what they do. This is their natural environment to be out here protesting, joining unions, trying to get a quote-unquote fair wage, all for a thing that takes no skill to do.
Hey, ho. Dress code has got to go. Hey, ho. Dress code has got to go. Hey, ho. Dress code has got to go. What do we want? A contract. Now. What do we want? A contract. When do we want it? Now. And if we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down. If we, hey.
Alrighty.
Dress code has got to go.
So there we go. We got all kind of genders. Look, listen. You know what? I want to apologize right now because I've said some hurtful things in my time on YouTube. I said a lot of hurtful things, and I just want to say right now, this video has convinced me that when I say there's only two genders, just male and female, this has convinced me otherwise, because I'm seeing some interesting combinations of humanity happening right here. So I don't know, like this individual right here, hey, I don't know what's going on. If you were to ask me, hey, ABL, is that a male or a female? Hey, man, your guess is as good as mine. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it might be all the above and a little bit extra. I don't know what's going on. All right. I don't know what's happening with this. Some of these people, I don't really get it. I'm seeing Bruce Jenner, but I'm also seeing Ivanka Trump. Shout out to Ivanka. No diss to her. But I don't know what's going on no more, man. I can't even call it with these genders. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Yeah, mutations. Definite mutations. Maybe it's in the food. We got so much of this garbage in the food, we're creating whole new genders. We're altering biology because of all the food dyes in the food to turn the frogs gay. Shout out Alex Jones. Shout out RFK Jr. Now check it out. I'll speak on the Puff Daddy trial on my Uncle ABL channel, okay? I won't do that right here, but what I will do is point out some of these individuals who are being paid $20 an hour to wear free Diddy shirts. Okay, let's watch some of this here.
Why do you feel that way?
So these are all paid protesters. You can get $20 an hour if you wear a t-shirt.
You gotta speak up.
She just got recruited, right?
I refuse.
You said no.
No.
It wasn't worth the 20?
No, but like he told me that it's for a Diddy coin, so I'm not really sure what that is. Yeah, they just tried to pay me $20 to wear a free fucking shirt.
Stop. I could tell because
the lady right there, she just kept convincing me to go wear a shirt, and I'm like, I'm good.
So just $20, and if you need $20, all you have to do is wear a free puff shirt. And you said no.
Yeah, I said no.
Did they say how many hours?
$20 an hour. And she told me she got paid like $60 yesterday for standing out there in 3 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. So yeah, it's crazy what $20 to do, and we could tell my man right here looking like he about to go straight to the liquor store after this. Hey, once he get his check for wearing that free puff shirt, he going straight to the liquor store, and hey, it's gonna be Thunderbird, E&J, MD 2020, all of that. All of that is gonna be in this man's book bag when it's all said and done. But I'm surprised though, because a lot of these protests, we know now, it's pretty much a thing. We know now that these protests are paid. We already, that's not even really a thing to say that's controversial. It's not even a secret anymore. But at one point, if you were to say that these are paid protesters, they would call you a conspiracy theorist and all kind of stuff. Now we know it to be totally 100% true. All right, yeah, my man going straight to the liquor store and balling out of control. Balling out of control. Now, this individual is going straight to the penitentiary, Big Rocks, Little Rocks, okay? And that's not a very nice looking man right there. Let's hear from, what's my man's name? Sheriff Judd out there in Florida. Shout out to him. Let's hear from him.
You think, well, I have set up a deal with an ugly woman. And I think you would all agree that this guy's an ugly woman, right? This is what you really get when the makeup comes off. This is Jason Bathurst. Now I want you to think about this a minute, okay? You decide that you're going to hook up with a woman. She comes in and she's already uglier than a mud fence, right? And then as you start to engage, you find out, hey, this dudette is a dude, and look what he really looks like. Yeah, he looks like he should have been in a Scarface movie someplace. I don't know. You think, well...
Now, look, okay. Sheriff. Is it Sheriff Judd? Yeah, Sheriff Judd. Bro. Okay. The first picture looks exactly the same as the second. The first picture... Hold on. Let me do it right. The first picture looks identical to the second. I mean, all he did was just put some red stuff on his face. Okay, he looks embarrassed with some lipstick on in the crazy Party City, Walmart, Target, beauty supply store wig. He looks identical to the other picture. If I saw that dude come up, wait a minute, hold on, engage. If you engage with this person on the left, that picture, you were gay anyway. So you pretty much were with it. You already knew what time it was. You knew that this dude had a little bit more than the average girl. You understand what I'm saying? You knew that from the beginning. So I'm going to go ahead and say it. If you decide to try and fornicate with that individual and you're a man, you were gay from the beginning. But anyway, yeah, So please be careful out there with these criminals, with these transformers. They might do something to you. Now, speaking about transformers, criminals, etc., NPCs. Oh man, the NPCs. This guy right here. What's this guy's name? Adam Conover. Conover, that's his name. Okay, he's supposed to be a liberal comedian guy, right? He's on Timcast. Shout out to Tim Pool. Hey Tim, come on man. Whenever you're ready, let's go. Let me go on Timcast. It'll be fun. We'll have a great time. It'll be a comedy show. I promise. It'll be good. But check it out. This guy, I don't find him to be very funny. I think if I was on Timcast, I'd be a lot funnier than he was. But he was repeating a lot of the same old talking points you get from the media. Good people on both sides, all kind of stuff. NPC behavior. A lot of y'all know a guy like him. He's your brother-in-law. He's your wife's boyfriend. I mean, anyway, you're the boyfriend. He's the husband. Anyway, you know this guy. He exists. And he comes in different colors: black, white, Puerto Rican, candy stripe. People like this are causing a problem in this nation because they vote the wrong way and they got the wrong kind of thinking, and they're easily led astray by the mainstream media. Now let's watch and hear what he says, shall we?
You know, it's unfortunate to watch the country like descend into that again. You know, racial issues are hard to tackle because it's we're very susceptible to it, and unfortunately, we've backslid into a period of white racial backlash again, where the people around the country are just like, I mean, the Trump administration literally just treats any black person as unqualified and fires them from the federal government. Like that's what Pete Hegseth is doing in the Department of Defense. It's just like out and out racism, it's like a racial purge of the government. It's really bizarre. They're trying to like resegregate the country.
Where did that happen where they were firing black people?
I mean, I don't know the names off the top of my head, but yeah.
That sounds not true.
I mean, yeah.
Because like, I'll put it this way, even if it were true, it's so overt that like...
Yeah, they're being really overt about it. I mean, Donald Trump is going on television and going, planes are crashing because of DEI. So it's
but DEI really, is a philosophy, is an ideology.
He's saying because there are unqualified air traffic controllers because they were hired because they're people of color. It's racist. He's racist. He's a racist man, and he's issuing racist policy, and the entire country's going along with it because we're in a period of white racial backlash.
When do you think he became racist?
I think he's been racist his whole fucking life.
All right, and again, sorry for the cussing, but you get the idea right there. Now, look, check it out. Tell me give me one black person that got fired by Trump because of racism. As far as I know, Trump campaigned on reducing the size of the government. So it doesn't matter what color you are. The whole point is let's reduce the size of the government. I'm seeing plenty of videos of whites getting online and complaining about being fired by the federales. White, black, it don't matter. It's you're a government employee and we can cut your position. We can save some money. That's kind of what's going on. Government has gotten way too big. Like I said before, I'm not going to just do the cha-cha side when somebody gets fired from their job because I understand people got mouths to feed and they got to take care of themselves. I get it. But is it a job of the taxpayer to take care of all citizens? Is that our job? Because let's be clear. Federal government, the money that they make, the money that they get, not make, they are funded by you and not a taxpayer. And at a certain point, when we're spending billions of dollars unnecessarily on government, you got to ask why. Because there's a job that needs to get filled. We got to employ somebody. That's not a very good reason to spend my money. That's not a very good reason at all. Oh, because somebody needs it. I need it too. We all need it. Let us keep more of our own money and let us work rather than having the government be kind of like the bailout for certain people. It shouldn't have got this big. The whole Northern Virginia, all of that is built up off of government, and it shouldn't be that way. Government is not meant to be some type of permanent career, especially like the politicians. It's not supposed to be like that, but it is. Unfortunately, it is. So yeah, shout out to that dude right there, the NPC dude. I will play the other one, but he's doing a little bit too much cussing. I'll play a little bit of it.
Bro.
Now, this guy did not realize that the whole good people on both sides thing had been debunked. Remember back, what was that, 2016, 2017, when you had the Unite the Right rally, Heather Heyer got killed, and it was the white guys, tiki torches, all this, that, and the third. Now, when Trump was asked about it, he said there were good people on both sides. But the white supremacists, the neo-Nazis, I disavow them totally. He said that all within the same press conference, but the media only took one piece of it and they ran with it. So guys like this, the NPCs, will just hear that part and ignore the rest. That's how the media operates. They'll give you the whole video, but they will only highlight a piece of it to present a narrative that they know the average small-time thinking person would grasp onto. Let's watch.
Donald Trump dumped food into a fish pond after Shinzo Abe did. Why are you trying to make that a negative story?
I don't even know what that
it was
we're
like,
talking about there.
It's all of these hoaxes. The very fine people hoax.
I mean, I remember the line. Yeah,
Trump never called Nazis fine people.
He said there were very fine people on both sides,
except the neo-Nazis and white nationalists, who should be condemned totally.
He said that.
Yeah, he said that. Oh, he said that. Oh, like really? He said that.
Totally.
He said that.
And right here, Tim Pool went off. And really just had to lay into him. And the guy was like, why are you yelling at me? Why are you screaming at me? I mean, his little face he was doing, I can't do the face because it's like the lips was like, like this right here. Hold on. Let me show you what he was doing. Let me see if I can just get a freeze frame. Yeah, that little face right there that he was doing. I did not like that. I did not like that at all. So yeah, shout out to Tim Pool for keeping it calm as possible. Hold on. Now there you go right there. That face right there. Listen, to anyone, if we're having a disagreement and you make that face right there, yo, call the police, man, because there's going to be a riot in this piece. You're going to have to go to fisticuffs. I'm playing. But that right there, that has set me off to see that face in my face when I'm having a disagreement. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, James Comey. I'll write it. So look, check it out. James Comey. Do you believe that James Comey, the former FBI director, did not know what this meant? Do you think that he didn't know what this meant? So look, James Comey, as you can see, posted this picture that has the numbers 8647 spelled out on seashells by the seashore. And his caption says, cool shell formation on my beach walk. So you just happen to find that randomly. You just happen to come across that perfectly laid out to take this picture. Come on, bro. Obviously, you set this up or had somebody do it for you, probably your assistant, because you don't do anything for yourself. Okay. You had them set this up. They probably took the picture for you, sent it to you, and you posted it. You talking about some, I didn't know that could be seen as, a violent message, but you do see it as political. So what is a political message? To fire Trump, to eliminate Trump, or to hurt Trump? Trump already got shot one time. So when you do something like, when you put this out there, we know what it means. 86 means to get rid of, to replace, to remove, etc. To stop. In this context, it's clearly a call to arms, especially since you got some of these crazy people, these NPCs that are willing to crash out. We see them on TikTok all the time talking about take one for the team. You're going to inflame them. You're going to inspire them. And look, here's another one that he did back in October of 24. And you see what it says right there. You got wood posts in the sand, and there's a seashell again that says vote Harris on it, written in just some kind of paint or whatever. And the caption says, saw this at beach, not the beach, saw this at beach. Ariel understands the assignment. Okay, so you're getting into your Disney bag, your Gen Z bag. I think James Comey, same thing. Adam Schiff, James Comey, tomato. I think Comey is the kind of guy that would go to Disneyland and start crying when he sees Disney, when he sees Mickey Mouse. That's pretty much how I feel about him. But anyway, it's no coincidence we keep doing these shell formations. You're doing it on purpose. You're sending out messages. The first one was vote Harris. The second one was delete Trump. And of course, since he did that, Secret Service came to his house. Hold on, let me see if I can find that right quick. Secret Service did come to his house, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. Hold on, let me show it to you right quick. So, let me see if I can find an American company. There we go. New York Times. Let me show it to you. Let me put it on the screen for you right quick. And you see what it says right here. Secret Service is asking Comey about a photo of seashells spelling 8647. Senior administration officials have said the post amounted to an assassination threat by a former FBI director. All righty. And that's James Comey right there. So what do y'all think? You think he just did it on purpose? You think he did it on purpose? Was it an accident? Did he mean to just, vote Trump out? What was the actual purpose of him posting that? Here's what he says in his response. I posted earlier a picture of some shells I saw today on the beach walk, which I assumed were a political message. I didn't realize some folks associate those numbers with violence. It never occurred to me, but I oppose violence of any kind, so I took the post down. Are y'all buying that explanation? I don't think Secret Service is. I'm not buying it. And of course, Trump's not buying it either. Trump's not buying it. Okay, neither is Tulsi Gabbard. Let's hear from her.
Do you believe Comey should be in jail?
I do. Any other person with a position of influence that he has, people who take very seriously what a guy of his stature, his experience, and what the propaganda media has built him up to be, I'm very concerned for the president's life. We've already seen assassination attempts. I'm very concerned for his life. And James Comey, in my view, should be held accountable and put behind bars for this.
Do you believe?
Right on. So again, shout out to Tulsi Gabbard. She is Director of National Intelligence, the DNI. Shout out to her. I'm glad she's in the administration. It's good to have, I don't want to say alternative voices, but different voices. Not just your standard Republicans, but some that are kind of in the center, more moderate. It's good to have them in the administration to have another point of view. Okay. Now, John Brennan, who lied to Congress under oath, another liar, same as Comey, says, well, maybe he didn't know what it meant. Maybe he was just, maybe it was just something else. Let's watch.
And throughout my career, I've never heard 86 be used for any type of intent to kill or assassinate someone. 86 is, you discard something, you just, ignore it, or it's not something that Jim Comey would have been advocating in terms of any type of violence. And again, he took down the post. I think was the right thing to do. But again, it's so unfortunate that individuals, including public officials, have just tried to fan the fires here and just bring in increasing sort of anger against Jim Comey.
I mean, come on, man. Like, really? The director of the FBI, former director of the FBI, he just didn't know that? He didn't know that it could be taken that way? Come on, man. If you're going to lie to me, make the lie believable. Because now, okay, if you just tell me a lie, I'll be like, okay, they always lie, that's whatever. But when it's like unbelievable, now it's insulting because you think I'm a moron, that I can't just grasp basic concepts. Okay, so yeah, shout out to John Brennan, not a fan. And this guy is Ed Krasenstein. He's popular on Twitter. Now he tried to be funny and post something. He had some pool balls that said 8647, and when he posted that, guess what happened? He got a knock on the door. And it was Secret Service. Let's play.
So moments ago, the Trump administration just had the U.S. Secret Service come to my house. You might be wondering why. Because yesterday I made a post that said 8647, which means, if you look it up, get rid of Trump, as in impeach Donald Trump, as in 25th Amendment Donald Trump, as in vote Trump out of office. Why, you may ask? Because last night on the news, Donald Trump made the claim that 8647 means assassinate him, which it doesn't. I would absolutely never, ever call for violence against anyone, let alone the President of the United States. So the Secret Service agents were extremely friendly. They were like, yeah, we understand. It's just something we have to do because Washington told us to. Washington told them to come give me a visit. That's what he said. Trump wants to be a dictator.
Yeah, because that's their job. Who do they work for? These are federal employees. So Washington, that's going to be their boss. That's what they do.
Dictator, and I will not be intimidated into not voicing my opinions or my dissent against him, ever.
All right, bro, come on. You're an influencer on social media. You did that on purpose to get some attention. Like, anytime an influencer does something and they say that they didn't know what they were doing, I'm automatically going to call them a liar. Automatically, off the rip. Influencer, yeah, you did that on purpose. Don't even worry about it. Okay, you did that on purpose. It's okay. Now, here's Trump responding to the whole kerfuffle.
Exactly what that meant. A child knows.
Hold on. Let me start from the top.
He knew exactly what that meant. A child knows what that meant. If you're the FBI director and you don't know what that meant assassination. And it says it loud and clear. Now, he wasn't very competent, but he was competent enough to know what that meant. And he did it for a reason, and he was hit so hard. Because people like me, and they like what's happening with our country. Our country's become respected again, and all this. And he's calling for the assassination of the president.
Obviously, he apologized and said he
Well, he
wasn't calling
apologized
for violence. But
look, he's a very bad.
What do you want to see happen?
What
do you want to see happen?
I don't want to take a position on it because that's going to be up to Pam and all of the great people. But I will say this: I think it's a terrible thing. And when you add his history to that, if he had a clean history, he doesn't. He's a dirty cop. He's a dirty cop. And if he had a clean history, I could understand if there was a leniency. But I'm going to let them make that decision.
So there we go. Shout out to Trump. Yeah. We all know that he knows what he was saying. We all know. It's not even a thing. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay. Now, going back to the Fed, speaking about them, you got a lot of ancient systems over there. A lot of things that have not been upgraded in a very long time. Because when you're talking about, I'm sorry for the freeze frame, Sean Duffy. Please forgive me. But when you're talking about the federal government, there's no incentive to really truly update anything. They'll maintain it. They'll do a good job maintaining it. But they're not actually trying to improve or fix anything because there's no incentive. As long as it works kind of halfway, they're good. Let's watch.
We do try to buy replacement parts on eBay for this really old equipment. Sometimes we can't even find it on eBay, so we're trying to use 3D printing to craft replacement parts for the system that we use. We do try to buy replacement parts on eBay for this really old equipment. Sometimes we can't even find it on eBay,
So the equipment is so old, they can't even find replacement parts for it because the manufacturer probably is not even making that no more. They might not be in business anymore. If you're using machines from the 50s and 60s and things like this, how are you going to find parts for it if the people that manufactured it have stopped manufacturing that 30 years ago? You're trying to like craft it with 3D printing and stuff like that. See, the best thing to do would be to upgrade the equipment, not just barely maintain it. Because at a certain point, it'll get beyond the point of being able to maintain, and you're gonna have to replace it. Buy from China, that's funny. But at the end of the day, these things are just very, very old in general. Now, speaking about old, have you guys heard some of that Joe Biden audio from the Bob Hur tapes? Now, remember, Bob Hur, that's a crazy name, Bob Hur. Okay, anyway, Bob Hur had interviewed Joe Biden, and there was a report about his mental acuity. And at the end of it, they were saying, oh, he's just an old man. He's kind of forgetful. But here is some of the audio. I won't play the entire thing, but this is from Axios. You can find it there. Again, shout out Axios. You can see them right here. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see that. All right. So I'll just play some of this audio right quick for you.
During this time, we were living in Chambers Road, and there were documents related to the Penn Biden Center or the Biden or the cancer moonshot. or your book, where did you keep papers that related to those things that you were actively working on?
Okay, so he has papers related to certain things he's actively working on. Bob Heard's asking him, hey, where were those papers kept? Okay, what's going on? Where are the papers? Where'd you keep them?
Well, I don't know. This is what.
So you don't know. So you don't know where you kept the papers. So you kept papers somewhere. Bob Heard is asking you, where'd you keep them? Your answer is, I don't know. Why don't you know? Is it because you're 1,000 years old and your memory is shot?
2017, 18, that area?
Yes, sir.
Remember, in this time frame, my son is either been deployed or is dying.
Now, okay, Beau Biden. When did Beau Biden die? Beau Biden died in 2015. Not, when was this? When you say 17 or 18? Beau Biden died in 2015, in May of 2015. So by 2017, he had been dead for a year and a half. Okay, a little bit of context.
Remember, in this time frame, my son is either been deployed or is dying. And so it was, and by the way, there were still a lot of people at the time when I got out of the Senate that were encouraging me to run in this period, except the president. It's not a mean thing to say. I mean, he just thought that she had a better shot of winning the presidency than I did.
So he was trying to run in 2016, 2015 when Hillary ran against Trump and got stomped. So here's a question for you guys. If Hillary Clinton did not become the nominee in 2016, do you think that Joe Biden wins? I don't think so. I think that it's just as bad. If he was a run, it would have been just as bad.
And so I hadn't at this point, even though I'm at Penn, I hadn't walked away from the idea that I might run for office again. So if I ran again, I'd be running for president. And so what was happening though, what month did Beau die? May 30th.
Okay, he's right, May 30th. But what year? What year though?
2015. 2015 he died. 2015. I think it's 2015.
I'm not sure the months are right.
So you got the date right, but the year he had no idea. Like what year was that? Was it May 30th? Yeah, okay. Was it 2015? Are you sure it's 2015? I don't know when my son died. That was the president. That was the president of the USA. Now, I understand if you get older, your memory's not really as sharp as it used to be. I get it if you're just a regular person, because we're all human beings and we all get older. But if you're the president, I want you to be a tad bit more present-minded, because we got things working on right now and things that have happened in the past. I need you to have a good memory, long-term and short-term, because short-term, you got to be able to get told things and respond quickly, and long-term because you need to understand context, history, all of that behind what you do in the present. Okay. So yeah, that is former President Joe Biden speaking to Bob Heard on some newly released tapes. Again, check it out on Axios if you want to see more. Okay, now here we go. Speaking about guys that are up there in age but still able to move around, we got President Trump out there in Abu Dhabi.
Thank you.
All right, Abu Dhabi. Shout out to him. Let's watch.
Thank you very much. This was a great and just an amazing day. This was a little bit of an endurance test. He was just testing to see whether or not I had the endurance. I do very easily. We could have done it 10 times over. But what a beautiful job. It's made easier by the incredible work you've done. So thank you very much. On behalf of a lot of these people that came with me, congratulations. Beautiful job. Nothing like it. Thank you very much. This was a...
All right, so shout out to Trump in Abu Dhabi. And now here we go. He's talking about going home to see his new grandbabies. I think, who had a baby? Tiffany had a baby, I believe.
It's been
with her husband, of course.
A tremendous time, and now it's time to go back home. My daughter had a baby. I'm going to go back home and see that little baby. And then we get back to a lot of work. We'll see what happens. It's been a tremendous...
All righty, going back home to see the baby, for sure. Now, we have to get to this thing here, to the inmates that escaped. Oh, man, listen. You had, I think they said at first it was 11 inmates. Then they said it was 10 inmates. Then they caught one of the inmates, so now it's 9 on the run. I don't know if they've caught anyone else yet, but they probably won't. Because here's what happened. As you can see, they broke a toilet, and it's crazy. They were drawing stuff up here. So look, they broke this toilet right here off the wall, and they said that there had to have been staff that helped them using the power tool or something like that to get it off the wall. First, they were saying they did it with toiletries. Now they're saying, well, it probably was some staff that helped them with a power tool to get it off the wall. And behind the toilet, there's a hole. It has bars, but I guess the bars are wide enough for someone to fit through if they could just slide their body up in there. If you're one of these big backs, you're not going to be able to achieve that. But they were able to get out through this wall. This is in New Orleans. Now, the jailbreak happened at 1:01 a.m. and I have video of them leaving. It's crazy. It is crazy. I'm going to show that in a minute. The jailbreak happened at 1:01 a.m. and they were not noticed gone until 8:30 a.m. They caught 2 more. Thank you, Evergreen 101. They caught them, but they didn't notice they were gone until 8:30 a.m. So 1:01 a.m. to 8:30. By that time, if you're in a car, especially, you could be in Mexico somewhere. You could be totally gone, and they won't catch you anymore. They caught one guy soon because he just went to the French Quarter, which is right there, and was under a car or something like this. He probably was a dope fiend on the street, sleeping outside. He probably went right back to his normal regular spot he'd be sleeping at and trying to panhandle. Meanwhile, it's like, bro, you're a fugitive from the law. You might go right back to the penitentiary or to the jail at least. But look, as you can see, there's some drawings right here. There's one thing that says, "We innocent." It said, "I'm innocent" at first, and it says, "We innocent." Another one says, "FOPSO." Another one says, "SMD." We're not going to say what that means. It's very, very vulgar. Another one says, "Catch me when you can." Another has it's an arrow pointing to the hole. It says, "Too easy, LOL." There's a little smiley face right there. It says, "Most hated." Okay, typical just gang member stuff. And those are the fine gentlemen that were reported to be on the run at first. Okay, that's them right there. Looking like school teachers and electricians and everything else, right? All right. And there's the actual jail, I suppose. So look, they got out of the jail through this little hole, scaled the wall, ran across the interstate, and they went free. Now, again, I have video. Hold on, let's go. Play the video right quick. First, they took the door off a cell, off the sliding track. It's a door on the sliding track. They took that off. Then they were able to go in the cell, pop the actual toilet off the wall, go in the hole, escape. Watch.
Tonight, these stunning images from inside a New Orleans jail cell where 10 inmates, some charged with murder, escaped, sparking an urgent citywide manhunt.
Look at that, though. Look at all the people like scattering like roaches. Watch.
Where 10 inmates.
Hold on. Can we just count? Because this appears to be more than 10 people. Let's just count. We got 1, 2. Hold on. Let me turn the sound down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, right at 10. There it is. Okay, let me just play it again with some sound.
where 10 inmates, some charged with murder, escaped, sparking an urgent citywide manhunt. The toilet dislodged from a cell wall, exposing an opening. Scrawled on the wall above, "We innocent and too easy," with an arrow toward the hole where they escaped, out of view of the officer on.
Now, look, somebody going to say, hey, ABL, they didn't spell two right. Well, look, we're talking about guys that's in jail, okay? We're not dealing with mathematicians. We're not dealing with English majors from college. We're dealing with guys that can barely read.
With an arrow toward the hole where they escaped, out of view of the officer on duty. Authorities say it happened just after midnight when the inmates broke a lock on a cell door.
They were still able to exit the jail about 1:01 a.m. after breaching a wall behind a toilet in the jail. And based on video surveillance, they were seen exiting a door on.
Okay, so let's do the count again. Okay, so hold on. Let's start. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9 right there. It might have been one more they cut off in the beginning. Yeah, 9 and then 10. It was 10.
Received assistance in their escape from individuals inside of our department.
They say the toilet could not be removed with bare hands, suggesting someone inside the jail system may have helped the inmates unscrew it with a power tool.
We are investigating that to see exactly who entered these areas, what kind of work was done, if there was work being done, and if this is an inside job.
Jail officials first noticing the inmates were missing during a routine head count at 8:30 a.m. But that's more than 7 hours after they say the escapees were off prison property and on the run. One of the 10 escapees captured before noon found hiding beneath a car at a hotel in the French Quarter. And moments ago, a second suspect caught, with 8 more still on the run.
All right, there you go. So, again, that's out there in New Orleans, in the jail, not the penitentiary quite yet. But since they did that, they're going to be going to the penitentiary, Big Rocks, Little Rocks. And a lot of these guys had crazy charges like, second-degree murder, all kind of charges. So, yeah, if they get convicted, which they probably will because y'all tried to escape, you're going to get convicted because they will bring that up in court. Yeah, y'all going to make Big Rocks to Little Rocks for quite a while. All right, now look, I gotta play this video with this female officer. Shout out to the girl cops out there that do their job very well, that handle business. But I think some of y'all really shouldn't be in the force. Okay, so what happened here was a guy took an officer's gun and they got really dangerous for her really soon. Check it out.
She's got her weapon! Put it down, dude! Put it down! Put it down! Hey, put it down!
All right, we got some shoots. I can't play that on YouTube.
998!
So let's go back to how this whole thing started. The female cop right here driving. No audio here, but she's driving. And then we have suspect come up and they're engaging. Now look, he's trying to take the gun right here. So let me ask y'all, in this instance, what do you do? Do you go ahead and just let it go? As in, do you fire the weapon? Or do you just continue to try to fight and get the weapon back from the guy? If it's me and I'm in this situation, off rip, I'm gonna go ahead and just pew, 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 pew. It's gonna be over with. But that's not what happened here, unfortunately. Yeah, all this struggling and squabbling. Yeah, nah. Come on, you gotta go ahead and just.
They're saying the Jesus name forever! They're saying the Jesus name forever!
Here's my gun, here's my gun! That's my God. Forever. Please don't shoot me. Please don't shoot me. Hey, put it down.
Now look, now we know what happens at the end. You know, the guy gets back in the car. You trying to carjack the police car, I suppose? I don't know. But he gets into the actual vehicle, the cop shoots him, and then it's over with. But it had to be the male cop to come and save the day. Now, again, shout out to the girl cops out there. I appreciate y'all for what you do. But I think that a lot of y'all shouldn't be on the force. Not in that situation. Not in that situation. Because clearly you got overpowered and you weren't prepared to do what you had to do to end that threat. If it's me, as soon as a guy becomes like reaching for the gun, man, you pow, 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 pow. Pow, pow, pow. Until you just are on the ground and the threat is eliminated. I would not want to do that, but I gotta do it because that's my job. And not only is it my job, but I gotta protect my own life. I'm trying to go home to my family. I'm not trying to have this dude take my life, take my gun and do something to me. So yeah. What do y'all think? Should she be on the force or not? I think not. And I'm not going to try to say that it's only women that do that because, of course, we got men to do the same thing. But it's going to be a lot more women that do stuff like that because that's not really naturally their position to be aggressive towards men. And that's not really their natural position, in my humble opinion. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okie dokie. Let me play a few more things. I got some good prepper stuff. Shout out to all the preppers. Now, this right here, I prep a little bit. I have some supplies, but this guy puts me to shame. So he's been prepping for 3 years. Let's see what he got.
I have been prepping for about 3 years now, and I have acquired quite a few things. I've been getting ready for those natural disasters, economic disasters, political disasters. We stocked up on a lot of the short-term foods that you might use within 2-3 month period. Stocked up on your freezer foods, things you can store for a couple of years and don't have to worry about it. We've stocked up on home defense, family defense, self-defense. We got a lot of things that a lot of people just don't think about. A lot of times, a lot of people think it's pretty extreme. It certainly don't hurt to be ready for anything. You never know when your local water system's going to get contaminated. Even if you're on well water, something could spill and contaminate the groundwater.
And that's real because that did happen in West Virginia. It was a chemical spill because right there in Canal County, it's a bunch of chemical plants. And there was a spill and it contaminated the river. And the whole area depends on that water to drink. So for a long time, you could not drink the water at all. And you couldn't even bathe with the water. It was a mess, man. People were trying to buy water everywhere. So what he said about your water being contaminated, that can happen to you, a well system, river, whatever, it can be contaminated, and you might want to back up for that.
And having that long-term food for when you have to hunker down for a long time really helps. We have solar generators, we have backup batteries, we have solar panels, and we have power inverters. Plenty of toilet paper to combat that toilet paper shortage. Packing food away in Mylar is definitely something we did a lot of. Having go bags ready to go just in case you do have to go, it's also a definite thing you should be doing. Alternative ways to filter water is also a good thing. Stacking up on sriracha, most definitely.
All right, so shout out to the sriracha sauce. But yeah, what do y'all think? Is it excessive? Too much? Right on point? What I want to know is, how is all this stuff secured? Do we have like a flood-prone area? Are we in the bunker? What's going on? Where's all this stuff at? You got it in your garage? Like, what's really happening? Because if you got it in the garage and you use the garage at all, people can see it and they know what's in there, you become a target when things really just kind of fall apart. I want to have that kind of stuff in a place where it's not accessible to the public at all. Like, if anything, it'd be like up under my garage. You would never even see it. And I will only go in there when the garage door is closed. Have a little hatch under my vehicle I go in there and handle my business. All right. Yeah, I wouldn't advertise it at all. I sure wouldn't. I would not advertise it. Like I say, I don't got no guns. It was a tragic boating accident. They're all gone. They are all gone. Okay. Now, let's show a bunker. This is not their bunker, but this is a bunker. It costs $2 million.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, this is not their bunker, but it is a bunker. Let's check it out.
This is actually the face to one of the craziest bunkers I've ever built. You're not going to believe what's inside. We literally carved it in the side of a mountain. We're going to go inside it and check it out. You've got your little Murphy door that will be here. You go through the submarine door. Comes over to the gun room. So they're almost done with this. They're doing the final paint. An air system. Pantry. Then you got your kitchen. Granite counters. You got a stovetop here. This goes to a bedroom here. Bathroom. Another bedroom over here. The passages in between, they're being finished off so you don't see any welding. It's another bedroom. See how the trim is? This has got the escape tunnel in it. Another bedroom. Again, all 8-foot ceilings, ceiling fans, walk-in showers, flushing toilets, living room. Going through a vault door here. This is the decon room. This is the battery room. Well, this is the secondary entrance.
I love it. I love it. So yeah, shout out to the bunker.
Battery.
That right there, that's goals. That is totally goals. And I got people, I was just back West Virginia and my aunt was telling me, hey, you know, some of these houses out here might be in your name because I got a lot of family that died and these houses just kind of out there and it could be in your name. Who knows? So I might have property in the mountains somewhere and don't even know it. Cause I got so many family members all in the mountainous place like West Virginia, from White Sulphur Springs to Morgantown to Canal County to way down south by Bluefield, all of that, all mountains. Just you would not find me out there at all. So this right here is goals in the future in West Virginia to build a bunker just like that. That'd be if I could do that, I've made it in my life. That right there, that'd be a good sign that I made it. If I can get a bunker just like that. Now, what I don't want is this kind of house in Los Angeles for $989,000 US American cold hard cash dollars. All righty, let's go ahead and check this out. Yeah, $1 million almost for this. Let's watch.
This would be the walk to your front door. This house in Echo Park is located on a walk street, which means that no cars can fit on the street, and it's only big enough for people to walk on. There's only a couple of these walk streets in LA. They are mainly in Venice, but there's a couple in Echo Park and Silver Lake as well. Since it's a walk street, there is no dedicated parking, but this place is very special and really feels like a peaceful sanctuary in the middle of the city. The home features 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 722 square feet, and it is currently listed for $989,000. All throughout, you'll find wood floors, vintage details, and beautiful original windows, filling the home with warmth and character. The spacious living room flows through to the kitchen, and off of the kitchen, you'll find the dining room. You can access the bathroom both through either the bedroom or the kitchen. Also in the bedroom, you'll find a cool little usable loft area. Outside, you'll find a covered patio that's perfect for outdoor dining, multiple hangout areas, fruit trees, and lush greenery. With its own separate entrance, you'll find an additional bedroom, bathroom, and kitchenette. Because of its location, I think this could be a great Airbnb, or it's just a perfect setup for guests, a creative workspace, or a private studio.
All right, there we go. So, how you guys feel about that? For you LA people, Echo Park, is that a good area, bad area, somewhere in between? $1 million, that can be yours. 727 square feet, they said. So, small house. I mean, it's a cute little house, not for no $1 million, with no parking. I can't even, no garage or nothing. I'm good. I'm good on that. But is it a junkie dump, Darla? Hey, I don't know. LA, that's not my cup of tea. Yeah, I'm gonna look it up. Hold on. Ed says you can look up any unclaimed funds or property that you can claim. I will look it up, and I probably do have some, because we're driving around. They're telling me that's your grandfather's house. Like, it's a bunch of houses in that area that one of them could be mine. Who knows? Who knows? You never know. But I tell you what, if I get some mountain property, like in the mountain, because mostly people live like valleys, but I can get like up in the holler or like up on the hill somewhere. I'm built in the bunker ASAP. Naomi says, I live out here, and every time you show these, I'm like, I got to get the F up out of here. Hey, but nah, that kind of property right there, LA, I'm good. I'm good on that. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Nah, he said 722 square feet. Hold on, let me put it up again for you.
2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 722 square feet.
722 square feet, 722. So you're talking about apartment size at best for a house that costs you $1 million. No parking at all. You gotta, I don't know how you even gonna get around. Can you have a car? Because to even access the property, you gotta go through this little alley or walk street. It's an alley. So walk down the alley. It might be dangerous. It might be a dope fiend sitting right there in the alley. And what you gonna do? Get around them, be like, hey, Mr. Dope Fiend, can you move? You tapping them, hey, Dope Fiend, can you move? That might not be a good idea. Okay, it doesn't include bathrooms, is that right? Well, if you include the bathrooms, excuse me, and the square footage, it might be 800 square feet, because that bathroom was small as the rest of the house. Alrighty, but hold on. What's that? Calio says, Echo Park is in Glendale area, overpriced dump. Well, there you go. That pretty much says it. Somebody else said junkie dump. You're saying overpriced dump. So the common denominator is it's a dump. But let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's get to some super chats, and we're going to get to the calls. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. Super chats first, then I get to the calls. Thank you to Jazz Life, who says, I substitute teach. Yesterday, 26 kinders. I've noticed the kids are getting worse due to bad parenting. Admin are scared of parents as well. That's the thing, man. These parents are bad. Parents are bad. Have you guys seen that show on, what was that, Lifetime, with that black lady that tries to like discipline kids and get them on the right track? I want to do a show like that. And I could just tell these kids what needs to happen, the parents too. Okay, I need a show like that, because these kids, it's not even their fault. It's the bad parenting. That's the ultimate thing here. Alrighty. Shout out to Ron Henderson, who says, free the illegal, send them back to their country of origin. And it's not America. Right on. Ron Henderson says, Houston, we do have a problem. Hold on. He says, Houston, we do have a problem. Blue hair invasion. God help us. Michael Critchlow says, congratulations to Newport Newsborn, Virginia Beach raised gymnast Gabby Douglas for being inducted into the Olympic Hall of Fame. I had no idea she's from Virginia. So yeah, shout out Gabby Douglas. Hold on. Gabby Douglas from Virginia. Where'd she go? Like Princess Anne? Hold on. Now I got to find it. Where did she go to school? She went to, let me see, raised in Virginia Beach. Excalibur Gymnastics. Okay, I remember Excalibur Gymnastics. And she went to, where'd she go to VSU? Interesting. Yeah. And then she went to Des Moines, Iowa. Oh, okay. She moved to Iowa later. Oh, all right. But yeah, shout out to her. Thank you to Ron Henderson, who says, Pete Buttigieg, disaster on a stick. I'm having black fatigue. Lord help me. Thank you to Tracy Ranger, who says, ABL, there was a terrorist attack, massive explosion from car bomb on IVF clinic in Palm Springs, California at 11 a.m. today. I live 1 hour away. Yeah, I was playing there earlier. Really crazy situation. Hopefully we figure out who did that and why they did it. Thank you to Ron Henderson, who says, teach all blacks, all American financial responsibility in our country. Learn how to take care of money, grow money. Thank you to Opinionated Junkie, who says, do you think segregation is coming back? And never left. Really. What left was the state being involved with segregation. But we do it all the time anyway. You go to certain parts of this country, it's 100% white, and some parts is 100% black. You go to some cities where there's multi-races, blacks over here, whites over here, and then certain parts is mixed. Like I live in the mixed area, but in this city, there's exclusively black neighborhoods and exclusively white neighborhoods. So segregation has not gone anywhere. It's just not legal for the government to make laws around that. They can't say color only or white only anymore. But you can say, I'll go to this area of the country that has a 0% black population if you want, or you could go like I do and go to Atlanta and enjoy that. So, nah, they're not going to bring it back on the state level. But if you want to do it, knock yourself out. Ron Henderson says the barista next job is a free Diddy t-shirt. March. Exactly. Thank you to Block K MIT who says, ABL, I'm not a racist. I hate everyone equally. Right on. There we go. Thank you to Pookie's Big, I ain't gonna read the rest, who says, MF's downtown Atlanta cooking up a stank with the catfish. Thank you to Ron Henderson who says, the libs are very violent. 86 is just what they mean. Exactly. Thank you to Kiwan who says, hold on. Kiwan says, ABL, please explain the Big Rock to Little Rock origin. Okay, you want to hear that? So the reason why I say Big Rocks to Little Rocks is because that's like a thing that you would do in the penitentiary in years past. Or if you go to the gulag somewhere overseas, what you would do is literally make big rocks into little rocks. And a lot of that was in cartoons and stuff like this as well. I think I might have seen that in Bugs Bunny. Okay. Let me see if I can find it right quick. And then you can see what I'm talking about. Well, I probably won't be able to find that specifically. Yeah. I know it's probably a picture or something like this. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, it was really a thing that you would do at a certain point back in the day. Make big rocks to little rocks. That's what you would do. Okay, in the penitentiary. Or you could be a miner. So, meaning you mine, coal mining, salt mining, stuff like that. And part of that is breaking down them big rocks to little. Hard labor, gulag labor. Thinking about Crislo who says, what in the unholy flirtation is going on between Ivanka Trump and Eli Ricks? He looks silly flirting with a married woman, but now she's flirting back. Well, that ain't really nothing. I mean, yeah, that ain't nothing. That's just her just having fun. And if you guys don't know, I think, what's that, Eli Ricks? Who is he? College athlete? Let me make sure I'm saying the same thing. So he plays for the Eagles. He plays for the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFL. And he was saying something about he got a crush on Ivanka or something like this. Let me just show you an article. I ain't going to really read too much into this. Let me just show you the article so you can see what I'm talking about. And then I keep rocking and rolling. So it says right here, Ivanka Trump visits Eagles locker room looking for a player who called her beautiful. He fumbled his chance at meeting. Ivanka Trump left a sweet message inside the Philadelphia Eagles locker room for a special admirer who publicly gushed over her looks following visits to the White House. The first daughter, 43, was touring the Eagles training facility with her family on Friday when she appeared to seek out cornerback Eli Ricks, who went viral last month for saying she was beautiful and exactly my type. Quote, stop by to say hi, the married mom of 3 wrote in her note, which she shared on X in a direct response to the 23-year-old April 28th declaration. Sorry to miss you. Go Birds. Now, I'm sure that she knew he wasn't going to be there because that would have been really crazy for her to try to talk to him right there in the locker room. That's him, of course. Okay. And he was right there in the White House under the picture. So we have somebody that's a MAGA. Shout out to the MAGAs. Shout out to the black conservatives. He's one. You see him right there up under the picture of Trump and the assassination attempt. And there is the note right there. Stop by to say hi. Sorry to miss you. Go Birds, Ivanka. Alrighty. So I think that's innocent. That ain't nothing. I don't think Ivanka's going to be stupid enough to try and have that cornerback, she's not going to do nothing like that. If she's that dumb, then I'll be flabbergasted. But anyway, shout out to the Jays. Shout out to Jared. And they don't play that at all. They don't play that. That's a big no. It's just innocent. It's just cool, in my humble opinion. I see the bunny emojis. Y'all crazy. Y'all are crazy. All right, let's get to some calls. The number to call 706-406-3287. The number is always in the description. It'll also be right here in the ticker at a certain point. You can always see that 706-406-3287. Let's get to it. And let me turn that off. And the calls are ready to roll. Yeah, it was cute, right, fella? It was cute. It wasn't really nothing. Yeah, just nice, harmless. You know, it ain't nothing. You know, some guys will be insecure about that, but I don't think Jared has anything to worry about. Nah, Jared don't got nothing to worry about at all. If she did something like that, if she was to really be seriously trying to pursue this guy, I would like, you got to be the dumbest person on planet Earth. 410, you don't learn who am I speaking to?
Hi. I wanted to call you and tell you that I just heard on Twitter, on YouTube, on X, that they put alligators in the Rio Grande.
That sounds good to me.
I don't know if it's true or not, but the lady said that she looked into it because she didn't believe it and found out it was true, that they put alligators in the Rio Grande to eat anybody that tried to illegally cross that way.
Hey, that sounds great to me. If they did that, I'm for it 100%.
Yeah, that'd definitely deter them if they got sense.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, and that lady that was a police officer that didn't shoot, she had every opportunity to shoot him.
She did. She really did.
And she really failed.
Mm-hmm.
She really made women police officers look bad.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's all I wanted to say. I love your show. You're great.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. And I'm seeing you guys talk about the Brooklyn Bridge in the chat. So it says a Mexican Navy sailboat crashed into the Brooklyn Bridge Saturday evening, according to the New York Police Department and the Mexican Navy. The crash resulted in multiple injuries being reported, NYPD said. So, obvious question, was it intentional? I think not, because Mexico cannot deal with us militarily. Okay, let's just watch this though. Is that like a pleasure boat? I don't know what's going on, but let's just watch this. Wow, so the top part of it, yeah, that crashed. It didn't crash dead on. You guys give me the proper terms to use. Is it the mast that crashed and broke? And it's like running the ground as well. But this is a small boat, so it ain't really gonna break that. It ain't really gonna crash into the people. But survival skills are on zero because listen, when you see it at that angle and it's still moving, y'all got to get off of that pier or the little landing, the dock. Get off of the dock because it's gonna come your direction. Now, if that was a bigger boat, they'd be in some real trouble. Like if that was like a real vessel, a big boy, they would have all been in the water. They're just sitting there like, oh, I wonder what it's gonna do. Oh, you might want to just get out the way, perhaps. You see something ain't going on properly. Okay, Mr. Black Shirt, I see you right there at the front with your cell phone. You about to be in the water though. Okay, so that's not really anything too serious. It's not like what happened in Maryland where they had the actual bridge in the water. See, this right here is a little small. It's a small vessel compared to the shipping, the big ship that crashed into the bridge in Maryland. So that's nothing. I don't think the bridge is even going to be damaged. Yeah, it's not going to be damaged. Yeah. People got injured, but the bridge is going to be all right. Okay, so yeah, they said it's a Mexican Navy sailboat. Yeah, it's a sailboat. It's not really a ship. That's a small boat. All right, but anyway, the number to call, y'all know the rest. 860. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony, it's FNA Ranger Xbox. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Oh, not doing bad. Could be better, but whatever. It's getting better slowly every day, you know. Wow. Here we are, Anthony, 4 years later.
That's right.
It's a crazy world, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
It's insane. There's so many things to talk about. I don't even know where to begin. You just had that up on the screen. I'm already drawing a blank on why so many things are happening in the news cycle.
The bridge?
But yeah, the bridge. Oh, yeah, that's the yacht. That's the sailing schooner for the Mexican Navy's academy. Their naval academy, like our naval academy and like the Coast Guard Academy, they all have sailing yachts for their cadets to sail in the off-school season, you know, like in their summer camp type thing where they go out and learn all the nautical terms and sailing terms and how a sailing ship works. And what it looks like to me, what happened is, I'm not a naval person, I'm an Army person, but my dad was in the Navy for 22 and a half years. And I grew up around the Navy. And what it looks like happened to me is the ship got away from them on an incoming tide, and it just rammed the boat up under the bridge, and it took out the upper rigging of the masts. Those are multiple tree masts that go up there. Yeah, and just thank God nobody was killed, but hopefully the ship's not damaged too bad. But anyway, great show. God bless. Take care, brother. Bye.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. Yeah, it didn't look to be too much damage. It looks kind of like it's like a small incident, not nothing too major. Little sailboat that ain't really, yeah. 505. You're online. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. This is the Butler family out of Rio Rancho, New Mexico. I called you the other night, and I couldn't believe I got through. I can't believe I got through tonight, but I want to give you a shout-out for being truthful and honest in everything you're doing. We live in New Mexico here, and let me tell you, the governor and all the people that run this state are terrible Democrats, proof of the most disastrous policies, and plus we have the border right here. But we live in Rio Rancho, New Mexico. That's close to Albuquerque. Albuquerque's a disaster. Most places are. But in Rio Rancho, we have everything red. We have the greatest mayor, Mayor Hull. He's a great mayor. And we don't have all the riffraff that's in Albuquerque, which is bad. And it's not really seen on TV too much because, you know, we're a small New Mexico state. But I'm going to tell you, down there, all the riffraff hanging out on the streets, calling up to your cars and doing all this disgusting stuff. When they come up, if they dare to come up in Rio Rancho, just right up the hill, they get thrown right back down. And I'm glad to talk to you because my son, great mechanic here in the state of New Mexico, and he has, since he was, I think, about 16, 17, has introduced you to me because I didn't know. You know, he's always been smart. He's always been like knowing what's right in the conservative way. And just wanted to thank you. But he introduced my wife and me to you, and we've been listening to you, I guess, the best part of 8 years or so. Just wanted to give a shout out and thank you, ABL, for being honest.
Well, thank you for your call and your support, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. No problem. All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call. Let's keep rocking and rolling. Let's go to 603, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is James from New Hampshire. How are you?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
I'm doing okay. I just basically had one question for you. I've been seeing, obviously, in the news about this plane from Qatar, and I know there's mixed feelings based upon, whether we should accept it or not, what are the politics behind it, and I don't know a whole lot about it, but it seems like something the Democrats give them an opportunity to go after Trump about. I'm going to hang up, and I just want to hear your thoughts. Thank you. Great show.
Thank you for the call. Okay, now as far as that plane, I think it's nothing. And I read somewhere that Biden was trying to get that same plane. That's what I read. I'm not quite sure if that's true. But it doesn't really matter because it's a plane, and they also are putting in the big order to buy some planes from us. So they're investing into our country. I don't see what the problem is. They're going to give us a bunch of money, buying things we produce, and they're going to give us something else. They just investing into America. They got faith in our country. So what's the big deal? What's the problem? I don't really get it. 310, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
This is Ron from Georgia. How you doing, ABL?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Oh, another great week. I tell you, in spite of all the liberal judges trying to block everything our president is trying to do, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They're doing everything they can to stop the movement of God what's going on for our country. But you know what? Our president is doing a heck of a job. That trip to the Mideast was epic. It is total. It's a total different contrast from what JB was doing, Joe Biden was doing on his trips. Everything that he did was coming with bags of money to give to people. And our president, our beloved president, is coming back with bags of money, bringing back to our country. It is a total switch for our country, bringing jobs, bringing money, trillions of dollars coming to our country. People are investing in our country. You know what? We need to invest in our country. We, the American people, the true Americans, not the fake Americans, not the ones who want all the privileges of America, but don't want to go ahead and do the sacrifice of America of working. I mean, I can't stand up these baristas and everything like that. They spend the money to go ahead and get that black T-shirt with their sign on it. That's $2 that they could have spent to keep their jobs. But you know what? I said, the heck with those 2,000 people. Hey, I'm sure there is some high schoolers that's willing to take on their job, put on the T-shirts, the black T-shirts, uniforms. Hey, that's what's needed. They need it in schools, too. You know what? High schools, hey, they need to go to uniforms because everything else they're doing is distraction. It's a total distraction in their education. And all this stuff with the blue hairs in the schools, these blue hair teachers, is another distraction. They need to be a uniform, look like a teacher, not like a character. You know what I'm saying? This is what we need in our country today. I was at the gun show out here today. Hey, I met some nice people. People talking with sense, praying for people out there. You know what? This is what we need to do. Continue to keep our country lifted up. Continue to pray for our people, our citizens, our youth. We need to continue to learn how to do things. These people need to learn how to do things instead of wanting somebody to do things for them. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. But you know what? People are waking up. People are waking up, and it's sincerely crazy that our representatives who's supposed to represent the American people would rather represent the un-Americans, the liberals, the illegals, the criminals. These are what they want to represent. I said, heck no to the no, no, no. You know what I'm saying? Get back to supporting and loving our country. This is what we need. President Trump, you keep doing what you're doing. God bless you, my brother. God bless America. God bless everybody in the chat. Sheree, hey, ABL, you got an awesome team. Man, you're just awesome. I love you. God bless you, my brother. You take care.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Yes, you too, sir.
All right. Great call. As always, let's go to 661. Your line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, I love your show. It's ABL, right?
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to get your thoughts on the 14th Amendment and the District of Columbia. Great show. Thank you very much for taking my call. Have a good one.
Thank you for the call. All righty. So, now you're talking about what? Birthright citizenship? Now, so, okay. Birthright citizenship is being abused because what happens is people come from other countries, pop babies down, anchor babies. Like I saw something where in South Korea, you have compulsory military service unless you're born abroad. So it was a member of nobility, if you will, a politician who had her children over here and went back to South Korea so the kids would be able to avoid the military service. Stuff like that I don't like. So I don't know what can be done to fix it, but what we can't do is allow it to be abused. So that's kind of where I'm at on it. Okay, that's kind of where I'm at on it. All right. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. The number to call, 706-406-32. Let me say I'm saying it right. Yeah, 706-406-3287. I want to take to you online, 617.
Hey, ABL, it's Jenna in West Virginia. Was just calling really quick because have you heard anything about this whole reality show that DHS is reviewing?
I have not.
So I have a friend in DC, and they work obviously in the federal government, and they texted me and they were like, "Hey, have you seen this?" So apparently there is, what is the guy's name? I actually just looked it up. He was on CNN, Warsaw. I think he did Millionaire Matchmaker and Duck Dynasty, produced it or whatever. But apparently DHS is reviewing this reality show that is for migrants to come here and compete for a chance to be an American citizen who can prove that they're the most American. And my mind was blown because I understand they probably have to review every proposal. However, with that being said, that's like me trying to compete to prove that I'm a Tyrannosaurus Rex because you're not American. And I was like, okay, well, wait a minute. Like, are we going to play Save That Statue or Don't Let the Flag Burn type of games here? No. I looked up the article and it says examples he gave were challenges including a pizza making challenge in New York, a rocket launching challenge in Florida, and a gold rush challenge in California. Per his vision, each episode would culminate in a town hall-esque style vote. One he said is akin to a presidential election. Lord help us all if this goes through. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that, but I will let you go because I know you have other calls to get to. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you. Okay, I've not heard about this. I need to do some research and see what's going on with it. But that's crazy. I mean, only in America, right? It's a show for everything. Yeah, but I don't mind DHS taking a look and seeing what's going on with that because they most certainly should take a look at that. Obviously, yeah, I need to really see what's going on with that particular show. But shout out to you guys. Have you guys seen that? Have you guys heard about that? I have not. But we'll see. We shall see. 734, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is Taisha. I just wanted to call in and comment on the whole James Comey thing. Americans just really don't know how privileged that they are, to be able to just go online and be able to make these outrageous comments, especially regarding the leaders of, where we live at. And I don't know why do he think that we're just idiots, like we're not going to know what he was referencing, especially with the whole number 47. And with everything that you see online with the threats against Donald Trump, I don't know why they think that they can just put these things out here and then just give us any old excuse as if we're idiots and we can't do any critical thinking.
I agree. Same thing. And it's so weird when they do it that they try to hide behind, I didn't know, I'm ignorant, because some of us will just believe it. Some of us will, but the majority of us are not. But I guess they don't really care what we think.
Exactly. Just think we just gonna believe anything. It's terrible out here, I should say. But that was just my comments. And have a great night.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Great comment. Yeah. It's insulting where you just say anything to us and we're going to believe it. Things that clearly don't make any sense. Things that are obviously not right. Yeah. It's a mess. But yeah, hopefully James Comey finds some accountability, which we know is going to be easier said than done in this year of our Lord 2025 in the good old US of A. If you're Adam Schiff, James Comey, same person. You know what? Whenever I see, I think the other, Adam Schiff, James Comey, have I seen them in the same room at the same time? No, I haven't. I've not seen Carrot Top or Kathy Griffin in the same room at the same time either. So they're the same person to me as well. 678, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, this is Vicky from Georgia.
All righty, what's going on?
Just calling to ask a question about this due process.
Okay.
What I'm confused about is why does the Supreme Court hold this up? Because when they came over here, when they came over here illegal, they wasn't due process. So why is it that the Supreme Court has held this up for due process?
That's a really good question. I don't have a clear answer from the Supreme Court, but I think it's just a bunch of political games, going back and forth, just trying to. They in DC are trying to use any kind of avenue they can to win this case legally, but I think it's not over yet, not even at the Supreme Court level, and ultimately will win. That's my humble opinion about it. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense because when they came over here, it wasn't any kind of due process. You can't come into the country illegally, but they were allowed to do it. We saw that guy, Alberto Garcia, get pulled over with a bunch of illegal aliens in his van, and they just let him go because the feds told him to let it go. So where was the due process right there? You see? So they say one thing and then do something else, of course.
Well, I didn't know why. What I was confused about is I didn't know that. I thought the Supreme Court had already made that decision on not letting them be transferred back to their country. And I just don't think that's right because it could take years and years for all of these people to be due process. And I just didn't know for sure if the Supreme Court had already confirmed that they had to be due processed.
Well, I think it's still like an ongoing process. I think it's still going to be some court action going on. I don't think the Supreme Court has made a final ruling necessarily. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be a constant court battle because I just saw a judge in Pennsylvania say that they can use it. So it's a lot of back and forth still.
Yeah. And another thing is about citizenship, about somebody coming over here illegal and having a baby and immediately they become an American citizen. I just don't agree with that. I think that that's crazy because that was not meant for that when it was passed years ago. And when the slaves came, they did it because they wanted the people that own slaves have the babies, make them a legal citizen. That has nothing to do with anybody coming over here illegal, becoming a citizen, right, having a baby, becoming an American citizen right away. So I'm totally against. I hope that they will change that law. I will be happy if they change that law because that way, just anybody coming over here illegal, you're not even legal to be here, and then you have a baby, and all of a sudden that baby's an American citizen. I wish they would pass that and do away with it.
I feel the same way, for sure.
Well, I just wanted, I listen to you all the time, and I agree with 99% of what you say. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for the call.
My concerns.
Appreciate you.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, shout out to the caller, great call. But yeah, the whole thing about due process, that's just another thing they try to feed to the normies. to make them think one thing. So then they go out there and then they'll say it. Although it really, the basis in reality is just not really existent, in my humble opinion. It's just not really a thing, in my humble opinion. Okay, I think that'll be a wrap for me tonight. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining. If you could not get on tonight, don't blame me, blame the white man, because you know it ain't my fault. But I'll be back live, same bat time, same bat place, 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, this is an audio streaming podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether that be Google Play, Spotify, Apple iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. But again, that'll be a wrap for me. So shout out to you guys for being here. Could not do the show without you. Thank you for everybody who is watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you're doing. Couldn't do it without you. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate y'all for that as well. I got super chats here, a couple of them. I'll read them right quick. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow on top. Oh, also, subscribe to the Uncle ABL channel. I got a lot more content coming up for that. I'm talking about Puff Daddy and Cassie over there. I got a few things that I'm going to react to. Shout out to a lot of the channels that have reached out to me and say, hey, man, let's talk about this, talk about that. So I got a few reaction videos. I got some about Puff and Cassie. I got a little bit of everything on Uncle ABL. And the purpose of Uncle ABL is to be the uncle that some people don't have, the dad some don't have, and also just to give my 2 cents on some of the more cultural issues that probably don't really fit over here on this channel. That'll be on Uncle ABL. Again, link for that in the box. And of course, this content here, the regular ABL content, you can find it on Facebook. You can find it on Instagram. You can also find it on Rumble. I am on the Rumbles. So all my links, everything easy to find right here in the box. Alrighty, I got super chat. Thank you to Sneaks for becoming an ABL supporter. I appreciate you for that. And thank you to Islanita, who says 1,400 per square foot is crazy. California is crazy. Yeah, I couldn't do it. I love living out here East Tennessee. I don't think I would want to live much of anywhere else other than right here. I mean, Florida, I like Florida. Florida's cool, but a lot of y'all want to go down there. Like a lot of Californians. I like to live in places where Californians don't really want to be. Not you guys. If you're Californians moving away, you guys would be great neighbors. I'm talking about the neighbors you left. The crazy blue hairs, the weirdos, the crack smokers. I don't want to ever step outside and smell crack smoke. I don't ever want to smell crack smoke, meth smoke, weed smoke, none of that. Yes, I said weed smoke too, because y'all like to be smoking that weed. I'm outside at an amphitheater, at a concert, minding my business, enjoying the smooth sounds, jazz concert. All of a sudden, weed smoke is going to kill the vibe. And what it definitely be a big buzzkill is crack smoke in my nose. I don't want to smell that. I like being out here in the foothill valley kind of area. It's beautiful, temperate, not too hot, not too cold, doesn't really snow. It's perfect. I love it. So yeah, California, can't do nothing with it. Left coast, can't do nothing with it. The pricing is just one problem of many. Out here, good weather, good cost of living, traffic not too crazy, perfect. I am 100% on it. Yeah, and the New Yorkers, listen, the worst people to move to where you are, again, not you guys if you live California, New York, but the worst people are your Californians, number one. I would say number two, New Yorkers. And number three, anybody who is liberal. You could be from Portland, Oregon, anywhere like that. If you move into a place, I don't really want to be where you at. Unless you're a conservative person and you really want to just go to a place like East Tennessee and live like how we live. If you want to bring your California nonsense with you, like, okay, you're moving to wherever you want to go in Tennessee, and on the back of your vehicle, you got a tent with some crack supplies in it. See that right there? That's the problem. Take the crack supplies out of the state. Make Tennessee, or keep Tennessee beautiful. Keep Tennessee beautiful. Keep Tennessee affordable. Keep Tennessee safe. Aside from Memphis and some of them hood areas. And the funny part about Memphis, I'd rather would live in Memphis in a nice area rather than in California, period. Because of how hard it is to live over there. But anyway, yeah, blue states, if you're from a blue state and you're a blue-minded person, or one of these kind of middle of the road, still kind of blue-minded, still wanting the high taxes, nah, we're not going to do that. Stay where you are. And or if you're going to come to this particular part of the country, do as we do. If you try to come to a new part of the country and do like you did where you're from, it's going to be all bad. All bad. But look, that'll be a wrap for me. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.